Works in association with Eugene area radio stations. Ears.
You sit there and you start to get aggravated because you sit there and, like last night, I'm trying to think what happened. I had softball practice and then got home and watched a little bit of the draft, silliness, and then watched a silly TV show. I'm thinking, this is taking time away from the bed. Got in there like 9-ish, and I was like, this is not right. Good sleep. Heading into a weekend, a lot of stuff going on. You need to be up and at 'em. You need to, you need to be refreshed. If you got things going on this weekend that you need to be up for, okay, maybe you need to be down for. Maybe you just need to plan some siestas, some naps. Just catch up all at once. Sleep for like 62 hours nonstop. Wouldn't that be great? A bed that would be able to handle such a responsibility, you can find it at Sleep Train. Now, we talked about Tempur-Pedic, but maybe we could do a whole show about Beauty Rest or Sealy, Serta. What's going to be your favorite? There's no way to find out. We can talk all we want to on the radio, but until you actually go and feel and touch and lay down on a said mattress, you won't know. The interest-free for 3 event is ending Sunday. I hate to create urgency, but if you're thinking about that 3 years, interest-free financing, no money down on Tempur-Pedic, including the new Breeze models, Beauty Rest Black Hybrid, which, by the way, is a Sleep Train exclusive, or the movable base mattress sets. You need to get there today, tomorrow, Sunday at the most, but I'm thinking that might be a tall order. There might be a bunch of people running in there trying to take advantage of interest-free.
So head on in, get in there now, and get that 36 hours of sleep. Sleep Train, Corvallis, Albany, Eugene, and Springfield. When you go in, say, excuse me, fine sir, or excuse me, fine madam. I was sent here by the wake-up call. Treat me as though I were royalty.
Holloway in London.
Why are you torturing me?
On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
6:30 if you're keeping track. If your alarm is going to go off in like 10 seconds, let us be the first to say good morning. Welcome to the weekend. We start the weekends here early with a Friday show, a Friday go-round. And by the way, I hate to upset you this early, but this could be a national travesty as we maybe miss these two individuals. I think more of these big stars going to TV and doing projects, and basically they're being weaned away, taken off the big screen. Like, for example, an Alec Baldwin, who's going to be, is this actual going to be hosting Match Game for a 10-episode run to see if it works? Alec Baldwin finding work. Sylvester Stallone is going to star in a mafia TV show. Good for him. It's written by Mario Puzo. Be looking for that. I don't even know. Doesn't even say what network. Are we going to have protesters? People out there in Hollywood? Hell no, don't go. We want you on the big screen.
I don't know. Any more people will protest anything. So why not?
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the deal. Monday, we are going to announce our grand prize Cuthbert winner.
Now, are you sure about that? Have you talked to Amanda about that? Amanda
I talked to the program director of one KDOC, and typically what we do is we get the everything in there today,
okay,
and we'll be able to. I'm hoping have a winner announced coming up on Monday morning. That means today, this morning, is your final opportunity to get into the hat, to get into the contest, where we're talking about every single show. I mean, if you're going to win something, yeah, great. It's great to win, a pencil eraser set. It's great to win. It's great to win ice cream. I'll put that way up there. But this is something that's going to be, an extended amount of time. We're talking about the whole window of summer into fall. Everything that's going on in the Cuthbert. Let's take caller number 3. at 541-45-KPNW, 1-888-KPNW. If you are interested in being in this, and you haven't already qualified, then call now as we say good morning to...
Well, you said caller 3.
Okay, so does that count as a caller?
No.
I don't think so either. KPNW, you're number 1. KPNW, you're number 2. KPNW, welcome to the qualifying circle.
Hey, how's it going? Morning.
Good. How are you?
Not bad. Just heading to work.
Who are you?
Ryan Pruitt.
Hi, Ryan.
Ryan.
What's new, man?
Oh, a whole lot of nothing. It's not raining. Great weather, so can't complain.
Good looking weekend. Starting to think about a little Cuthbert concert action there. Anybody that we talked about, from your Sublime to Slightly Stupid, Lyle Lovett, Mavis Staples, anybody speak to your soul?
Quite a few. You guys, I thought I heard Dashboard Confessionals and Slightly Stupid. And there's a few groups that are going to be there this summer that are pretty decent.
So do you think you'd go more than you would give the tickets away if you were to be the grand prize winner?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking that's kind of a cool thing. If you can't make it or you don't feel like going, you give it to somebody and get a dinner out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, or more.
A lot of some birthday presents and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Knock a few off.
Ryan, do you mind if we ask what you do?
I'm equipment operator for Eugene Sand.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate you listening on your way to work.
No problem.
We're going to have you hang on the line here a second. We need to get a couple of pieces of information from you, and then we're going to let you go on your merry way. But thanks for listening, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's the Ryan and Ryan Show.
Mm-hmm.
Got Ned Ryan coming up, going to talk about Cruz and his
big announcement.
Team. Things just get crazy, don't they? I mean, you think, okay, you can't get any more crazy, and then just wait a couple of days or an hour. Okay, so overcast, a little wetness today, but then we rip it open for a good-looking weekend. Hopefully you have something planned. Of course, the half marathon going on tomorrow, along with the, I don't know what they're calling it, but the kids race, which is always cute. That's going on tomorrow. The marathon, which even if you're not going to run in it, it's kind of fun to come out and watch at least, whatever you can. If you have a couple of hours, come out and watch it run through our fair city here coming up on Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful day. Stand by. Just to kind of give you a run through, we'll talk Cruz and Carly. We'll talk about the Give Us 5 event up in Corvallis. And we'll talk to an economist, Sid Lycan. And then the debut of a feature on the show coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Hopefully you'll be with us for
our new political analysts
here in the Wake Up Call. 50 currently at 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. We are putting more away for a rainy day, and that had Americans spending less than estimated in March. The Commerce Department says spending picked up by 0.1%, while incomes rose by 0.4%. In the first quarter, real disposable income was up at a 2.9% annualized rate. Chevron's latest results show that it lost money during the first quarter for the first time in almost a quarter century. The company's loss was $725 million, or 39 cents a share, compared with a profit of $2.6 billion a year ago. Shares are down about 1.6% before the opening bell. ExxonMobil is little changed after quarterly earnings beat estimates, but were the weakest quarterly profit in more than a decade. And Rovi and TiVo are rising in pre-market trading after Rovi agreed to buy the DVR pioneer for just over $1 billion. Rovi provides on-screen guides for pay TV listings. S&P futures down 6 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Northwest Alternative Health Eugene's premier medical marijuana clinic has a new location. Yes, we've moved to 1675 West 11th Suite B on the corner of 11th and Chambers. Having a medical marijuana card gives you exclusive access to medicine otherwise not available for recreational users, lower prices at the dispensaries, and higher limits for possession and growing. To get your card, drop by our new location or give us a call at 888-920-6076 or visit us online at ommppcard.com.
The Veterinary Hospital is Eugene, Oregon's premier pet hospital. Open 7 days a week, our fully licensed and AHA-accredited team offer the latest in therapeutic laser technology to promote healing and pain management for your pet. The Veterinary Hospital. We care about pets and their people, too.
Think you're fat? You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-400-1022. Strict limit of 1 per household.
I used to be plagued by potbelly and constant bloating. After taking New Biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. If your belly flattening results are too dramatic, simply reduce use to every other day. Think you might be bloated? See how much flatter New Biotics makes your belly. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-400-1022. That's 1-800-400-1022. 1-800-400-1022.
When the sun comes out, the critters are up and moving. SM Gun Shop wants you to be ready. Get a head start on varmint season with huge savings on Black Hills 223 plus special wall-to-wall pricing. It's only at SM Gun Shop on River Road in Eugene, Lane County's most established gun store.
Okay, everyone, Mother's Day is next week. Do you know what you're getting for your mom? If you're looking for the perfect gift, check out this sweet deal from Sherry's Berries. Right now, you can get their famous freshly dipped gourmet berries starting at $19.99. I was so excited to see this deal because Sherry's Berries have become a big tradition in my family. We all love them. You have never seen dipped berries like these. They're huge, sweet, juicy, and covered in decadent toppings like chocolate chips and chopped nuts. And right now, they're starting at $19.99. That's amazing. Plus, you can pick your delivery date, and the berries are guaranteed to arrive fresh, delicious, and beautifully packaged. My mom is going to be super excited when she gets her Sherry's Berries, and I bet your mom will be too. Hurry, because Mother's Day is next week, and this incredible deal ends this Friday. The only way to get this amazing offer is to go to berries.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter secret code 300. That's berries.com, special code 300.
Shipping charges not included. Customer satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out the door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we do have mostly cloudy skies. We've got temps right now in the mid to low 40s and light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. We are tracking some isolated showers off and on, and those look to continue throughout the day as a cold front will push through over the next few hours. Now, we don't expect a whole lot of rain out of this, only about 1/10 of an inch maximum, so just enough to probably mess up your car wash, but not quite enough to actually water your garden. That'll continue into the afternoon with the mostly cloudy skies. Temps will reach into the upper 50s to low 60s as that cold front will limit the daytime heating. Now, we are talking about a fantastic weekend. Once we get past this little storm system, high pressure moves in for your weekend, and that means we're going to look at a massive temperature jump throughout the weekend. Mid-60s for your Saturday, all the way to the upper 70s to low 80s for Sunday into your Monday. Get ready for a great weekend and a few tiny showers today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic Friday.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of
Holloway in London and the Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. We send a hearty thumbs up to you this morning. 641. Well, so much to talk about. Wanted to kind of focus for a couple of minutes on Ted Cruz and his announcement of former candidate Carly Fiorina as being his running mate. To talk a little bit about that this morning, he is American Majority CEO. He is also a former writer for former President G.W. Bush, George W. Right. Joining us on the Wake Up Call, Ned Ryan. Hi, Ned. Thanks for being with us. So
glad to be here.
So off the subject, when you were writing for a president, now were you? Right. How difficult is that to write in somebody else's voice?
That's what I was going to say. The hardest thing for me and the biggest learning curve was really getting into the writing style and tone and voice of George W. Bush. It was hard the first few weeks. I remember I did a lot of special correspondence, proclamations, those sorts of things, and I remember the first couple weeks, literally everything coming back with about 3 lines that were not, basically just scratched out with red ink. So it was a hard learning curve. But once you get into the rhythm and the feel for it, it just became one of those things. You'd be cranking out letters and proclamations every day. Once you got the feel for the voice and the tone, it became easier. But it was hard at the beginning.
Because he had kind of an odd syntax and the way that he spoke when giving a speech. I would imagine it would be hard getting into that particular type of, well, I don't know, style.
It was one of those things where you struggled with wanting to write in your own voice, wanted to write in a way that you thought might be a little bit, I don't even know the correct word for it, but all the heads of the office would come back and say, Ned, you have to write in how he speaks, how he wants to communicate. You're not going to use those words. You're going to use very much what he's been using, and this is how you can do it. So it was okay, but yeah, there's each person has their own very unique tone and voice and feel, and if you're trying to write for that person, you just have to get used to it. But once you get into the flow of it, becomes especially when you're writing, six special pieces of correspondence a day, a proclamation, whatever it is, you're writing a lot a day, and you're writing in that voice. It becomes second nature.
All right, let's talk about the topic at hand. Cruz, Fiorina, too little, too late.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
all right. Well, it was a pleasant conversation with you, Ned.
No, it's one of those things. I mean, Ted is trying to change the narrative. He's trying to change the news cycle because the last couple of weeks have not been good for him. I mean, the last 6 states, he's won exactly 1 delegate. And all the states, the 6 states that have just taken place, Trump has won every county in every state except for one county. I mean, these have been definitive wins for Trump and not great for Ted Cruz. So he's trying to change the narrative, trying to change the news cycle. Listen, I love Carly. I think she's a great communicator. I think she's very sharp. I think she's got some real skills. That all to say, I think this will change the news cycle for a couple days. And after that, it'll go back to Trump momentum. I mean, Indiana next week is going to be interesting. Obviously, I think it's a fairly close race. If Cruz wins, he can help, kind of change some of the story. If Trump wins, I mean, I think it's already over. If Trump wins, it's definitively over. So, and the other thing, too, that I think they've made a calculation, the Cruz camp, is that somehow Carly will help them in California. I think she will be helpful, just not as helpful as they hope that she will be, because California really it's on the last day. It's June 7th. It's the last stand. I don't think she's going to be as helpful as they hope that she will be.
Well, I mean, she couldn't even win an election in California. So
that's right. I mean, she lost, to be fair, she lost by 10 points in 2010. She hasn't lived in California. She's been in Virginia the last few years. So I'm not really sure how robust a network there still is for her in California. I know there's connections. I know there's still some grassroots and donors. I just don't think it's as robust as the Cruz camp is hoping it will be.
All right, so I'm going to throw you a curve here. What do you make of, once again, last night, violence at a Trump gathering? Protesters taken to the street, throwing punches at Trump supporters, busting up a police car.
Right.
I look at that and I go, these are people that are doing nothing more than really trying to intimidate Trump supporters. I mean, it's one thing to have a freedom of speech. It's one thing to say, I don't like another candidate. It's another thing to go to a political gathering and start throwing punches at supporters. That, to me, is jackbooted thuggery. Well, apparently you agree. I don't know.
No, without a doubt. It's one of those things where, you know what, ultimately, at the end of the day, these people are trying to derail, quiet, intimidate, whatever you want to call it. The American people are going to vote on this, are voting on it. And should Trump, and I think he will be, the general election nominee for the GOP, people are going to get to vote on whether they want to see Donald Trump in the White House. Let's have the debate. Let's have that debate and see what happens. Let's not try to intimidate, shut down dialogue. I find it ironic that the left screams about all these, let's have free speech, let's have all these things, unless that free speech does not line up with what they want to see being discussed.
Exactly.
And it's ironic to me. I think it's completely hypocritical. So I think we're going to see more. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Cleveland. Again, I think Trump's going to go in. If not hitting the 1237 mark, he'll be close. I think he will come out as a nominee. I expect there's going to be some real fireworks on the streets of Cleveland this summer when the GOP convention's there. But again, it's a shame. It's ironic. It's completely hypocritical. Let's have this debate and see what happens and see what takes place in the general election this fall.
What I think is amazing is that neither Hillary, at least at this point, neither Hillary or Bernie coming out and saying, you know what, this is not appropriate. You want to look president? If you wanted to, I mean, really, if either one of them wanted to look presidential, they could come out and say, you know what, this is not appropriate.
Right. Of course they would. But you're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear that. I mean, this is, in many ways, I mean, what we saw in Chicago, just, what was that, about 6 weeks ago. I mean, these are organized, funded, paid protesters who are being shipped in to hopefully disrupt, throw a monkey wrench in. Of course, it's not working. But this is a concerted attempt by leftist donors, paid protesters, to hopefully derail or throw off his stride Trump. It's not going to. In fact, I think it's in some ways sort of helpful and galvanizing those that are supporting him.
Yep. Exactly. All right.
Yeah,
well, hey, Ned, it was a pleasure talking to you. First time on the show. We appreciate it, and you take care.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Have a good one, Ned.
You too.
Ned Ryan, American Majority CEO and former speechwriter for GW 649. You know, it doesn't make any difference how you feel about a candidate, whether you like them or whether you hate them. You know, I mean, it would be the same way if protesters were showing up at Hillary's campaigns and essentially screaming that she's a liar, that because of her, you know, the folks in Benghazi died on her watch, and screaming and yelling about it, and then just start throwing punches at her supporters. It doesn't make any difference who the candidate is. You know, that is nothing more than intimidation, pure and simple. And just wrong in so many ways. Doesn't make any difference who the candidate is. You know, and then, I mean, you know, like he said, on one hand, you have these people that are saying, oh, free speech, First Amendment, it's free speech. Yeah, as long as it's your speech, God help anybody else that doesn't agree with you, because if that's the case, well, then you're any one of a number of derogatory definitions.
And if you take that route, who is that going to resonate with? Other people like that. But as far as if you want to reach the everybody mainstream, I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Well, if you want to change somebody's mind, reason with them. Present a number of compelling, well put together arguments and say, this is why this person is wrong.
Do you see that?
Do I see that happening? No.
But do you see that working for anybody? I think it sounds great on paper, and as you put it out there, like, yeah, well, sure, yeah, if they have a good argument, but it's not going to work out that way. People aren't going to listen.
You know, it's like, I remember when Phil was in here, and I'm talking Phil Romero, and he said that he would get these papers, and they would be putting stuff in all caps, you know, like when they were trying to make a point, and he commented, he goes, it seems as though that people think that if you make your position and your argument louder, that somehow that makes it correct. It was a couple of years ago he was in here. We were chatting after one of the interviews with him, and he said that. And it does seem to be that's now the prevailing theory of discourse is if you can be the loudest, you are the most correct. So all I have to do is scream louder than you, and it makes me more right.
Suck up the oxygen in the room.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Hour number 2 on the way. Stand by. It's 11:20 KPNW. A little bit of wet out there. Overcast and 57 eventually. 67 tomorrow. 80 on Sunday. Currently 51 at 11:20 KPNW.
You are a business owner.
I am a business owner.
You want to grow.
That's true. I do want to grow my business.
But you need help.
Especially with how I'm going to grow my business.
So you call U.S. Bank.
Good idea. They'll know how.
Our custom solutions give you what you need to expand.
That's just what I need to expand.
Add a production line.
Wow. Can you believe that production line?
Give you operating capital.
Can't operate without operating capital.
And help your business grow even more.
I think I'm going to need a bigger office.
With a business banker there by your side every step of the way.
Maybe I should start another business.
Visit your local U.S. Bank branch or usbank.com/quickloan today. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. Equal housing lender. Credit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association and are subject to normal credit approval and program guidelines. See your banker for details. Deposit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association, member FDIC.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Social Security really is in trouble and will probably become an immediate and full-blown crisis before politicians deal with it. But make no mistake, there are no alternatives that will result in no one having their taxes raised or no one having their benefits cut. Options include raising both the retirement and early retirement ages. Given that people are living longer and will continue to do so, that should be a no-brainer. Normal retirement age will need to be at least 70, early retirement 67, and over time even these ages won't be high enough. Other possibilities include raising payroll taxes, reducing cost of living increases, soaking the rich, and means testing for benefits. Means testing will essentially punish those who saved for retirement to support those who didn't. Think Aesop's fable about the ant and the grasshopper turned on its head. Here's the nugget. The final solution will be some combination of these choices mixed with others not mentioned or thought of. In the end, it will likely be implemented at the last minute in the middle of the night, and no one will really know what's happened. Passing Obamacare or raising the debt ceiling might turn out to be a good model for the process, which makes my skin crawl. How about yours? I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
If you've dreamed of owning an RV, let the RV Corral help make those dreams come true. The RV Corral is Eugene's largest Winnebago dealer for motorhomes and lightweight travel trailers. Over 200 new and pre-owned motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and campers. All Class A and C motorhomes are on sale now. With local owners for 28 years and all local employees, the RV Corral will be there to help you make your RV dreams come true. Easy to find on Highway 99, 1 mile south of Beltline. Buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
Today, you ate Greek yogurt. You took the train. You wondered why people spend so much time reading celebrity blogs. You read a celebrity blog. You planned a workout. You skipped it. You did all the things that one normally does the day before a devastating earthquake shakes the community to the ground. You never know when the day before is the day before. Prepare for tomorrow at ready.gov/today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're all part of your community.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe. So protect your every day.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are lower in early trading as investors assess a mix of corporate earnings and amid few signs of a pickup in economic growth. Right now, the Dow is down 48 points at 17,782. The S&P 500 is lower by 2 points, or about 0.1% at 2073. The Nasdaq is little changed. It's down 1 at 4803. Among shares moving on corporate news, ExxonMobil up 2% after the company's latest quarterly quarterly results beat estimates, but they were the weakest going back to 1999. And Chevron is down about 1% after it posted its first loss in almost a quarter century amid the oil market collapse. Oil is rising this morning. It's up 1.5% at $46.71 a barrel. Meanwhile, a report today is adding to concerns that the economy is struggling to gain traction. Consumer spending rose less than forecast in March. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
You know, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it was back in 1999 when Venezuela elected Hugo Chavez to bring in the joys of socialism. And right away, Chavez stacked the courts so he could stay in power past his constitutional term limit. He realigned his country with communist regimes. His government took over private businesses. He cracked down on dissent. He was a thug, and he talked anti-American crap every chance he got. Now, of course, the libs here loved him. Hollywood stars and other lefties went to Venezuela to worship at his feet. But meanwhile, Venezuela suffered. By the time Chavez died in 2013, the once prosperous country was a basket case. His hand-picked successor, Nicolas Maduro, promised to keep marching towards socialist utopia. Well, this week, the president announced a major change. Due to severe energy shortages, the 5-day work week has gone to a 2-day work week. The government blames a drought, but that's just an excuse. Venezuela is an oil-rich country. They used to export oil to us, but it can't even use its own resources now because the country's infrastructure is in collapse, as is almost everything else there. Crime has been out of control for years. There are food shortages, economic misery, riots and looting have broken out, and now people are standing in long lines to sign petitions calling for the president's removal. It's a textbook lesson. Socialism fails every time it's tried, here, there, and everywhere, and the millennials still don't get it. I have a question for you. Who is the fastest growing tractor brand in America? If you guessed Mahindra tractors, my good friends, you are absolutely right. Mahindra also has an amazing 97% customer satisfaction rating. No wonder they are the world's #1 selling tractor. That's why I feel comfortable recommending Mahindra tractors to you. I am confident that you will join the 97% of satisfied Mahindra owners. Now, don't forget, Mahindra still offers 0 interest for 84 months and a rock-solid 5-year powertrain warranty. I mean, what's not to love? If you want to work smarter, not harder, on the land that you love, learn more at MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at all seasons.
We report, you decide. This is News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. A final weekend of campaigning before the next primary on Tuesday. Indiana, a key test for the Cruz campaign and for the frontrunner. Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso with more live.
Lisa, in his bid to stop Donald Trump and force a contested GOP convention, Ted Cruz tries to shake as many hands as possible ahead of Indiana's winner-take-all primary Tuesday.
We are barnstorming the state. We are on a bus tour traveling throughout the state to look voters in the eyes, to answer their questions, to show the humility to subject yourself to the scrutiny of Hoosiers. Donald Trump doesn't like to do that.
Donald Trump remains in California, where protesters turned violent in Costa Mesa last night. 20 arrests. Trump returns to Indiana Sunday, where he leads in the polls, saying if he beats Cruz there, Lisa, then it's over.
Thanks, Jeff. All San Francisco police officers will be ordered to attend anti-harassment classes. Police Chief Greg Suhr is set to announce that and other steps to combat racial bias after releasing transcripts of racist text messages between 2 officers and a former lieutenant. A mosque attack in Syria that may be retaliation for airstrikes that hit a hospital in rebel-held areas. Fox Radio's Jessica Gallagher with this live.
Lisa, violence in Syria's largest city of Aleppo continues. State media reporting rebels shelled that mosque and the government-held portion in the northern city. After Friday prayers, the attacks come after Damascus, with the help of Russian-backed airstrikes, struck opposition targets in Aleppo, including a medical facility associated with Doctors Without Borders, killing staff and civilians. Meanwhile, the UN Special Envoy for Syria is warning that indirect peace talks meant to end Syria's 5-year civil war could collapse altogether. Lisa.
Jessica, Africa, a helicopter transporting people from an offshore oil field goes down off Norway's western coast. Rescue crews finding 11 bodies so far, 2 people missing. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
I'm Cameron Walker. News doesn't take a break on the weekends. At KVAL News, we bring you first, fair, and accurate reporting from around Western Oregon and wherever news happens. Join me this weekend along with Sabrina Reese with your latest forecast and Preston Highfield with all the latest scores and highlights from the world of sports. When news happens in Western Oregon, more people turn to KVAL News than any other station. Coverage you can count on from KVAL News. First, fair, accurate.
I'm Kelly Anderson. Do you have a story you think needs to be told or investigated? We want to hear about it. With the KVAL News tip line, you can share story ideas and let your voice be heard. Just call 685-KVAL. Whether it's breaking news or story suggestions, we want to hear from you. Call 685-KVAL. Give us a tip and we'll get it on the air and online. Tip line from KVAL News, getting the stories that matter to you is what makes KVAL News first, fair, accurate.
Stocks open lower. Fox Business Network's Adam Shapiro is live at the New York Stock Exchange.
Good morning, Lisa. The Dow is down 122 points, S&P 500 down 14 points, and the Nasdaq is down 31 points. There was news this morning on personal spending. It actually rose 0.1% in March, according to the Commerce Department, but Wall Street was expecting our spending to rise by 0.2%. On the flip side, personal income was actually up better than Wall Street expected, 0.4%, when the street was expecting 0.3%. One stock that is booming today, Amazon. They had incredibly good earnings yesterday. They beat on revenue, $29 billion. They beat on earnings, and that stock is up almost 10% right now. Lisa?
Thanks, Adam. Oil prices just a short time ago topping $46 a barrel, but the recent surge too late for ExxonMobil, reporting a 63% plunge in first quarter profits over a year ago. Hard labor for another American citizen in North Korea.
This North Korean court sentencing naturalized U.S. citizen Kim Dong-chul to 10 years labor for allegedly possessing state secrets. 2 months ago, North Korea jailed American tourist Otto Frederick Warmbier for allegedly stealing a propaganda sign. Meanwhile, today the North accusing U.S. troops along the DMZ of disgusting acts, making faces and strange noises. If they don't stop these provocations, the statement said, they will meet a dog's death. In the Asia Bureau, Alistair Wanklin, Fox News.
The top overall pick in the NFL draft, California quarterback Jared Goff to the LA Rams. But Mississippi's Laramie Tunsil is getting a lot of attention for the wrong reasons.
Moments before the draft, video from Tunsil's own Twitter account was tweeted featuring him smoking from a gas mask bong. Tunsil says his Twitter account was hacked, but the damage was done.
Fox Radio's Tom Graham. Tunsil dropping into the 13th round where the Dolphins picked him. He has said that video is old. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Welcome in hour number 2, 7:05. We got some overcast conditions today. Talking about some rain, 57 for the high. You get through today, and the weekend is going to be stellar. A little bit of cloud cover tomorrow and almost 70, 80 on Sunday. Pure sunshine. Currently 51 at 1120 KPNW. By the way, I forgot to talk about this off the air last hour.
Yeah.
Your kicker, okay? It's Friday. We need to... I mean, sometimes you get that or a cute puppy, or do you recall what your last final story was?
Yeah, it was Ron Wyden and his little
proposal.
His new daily. You can tell when Ron Wyden is up for re-election because every day he comes out and says, "I'm doing something. Look at what I'm doing. I am relevant."
You could see this maybe coming out 3 months ago.
Oh,
and the campaign. No, hold it.
So,
I mean,
on a daily basis, he is absolutely wallpapering media email with, "Oh, I'm meeting this person, and look at what I think," and so on and so forth. And it's so obviously transparent what he's doing. it's obvious what he's doing, but the sad part of it is people just don't get it, that the Oregon senator from New York City is, he's running for re-election.
Can we come up with like a true kicker that is like or a ha 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 or a that would prompt somebody either to laugh or to hug somebody?
Okay, hugging just doesn't work for me.
Oh, okay, it doesn't work for you.
I don't know that I can.
You got to come out of yourself and think about somebody else for.
Well, I don't know if I can come out of it. Well, let's see. I'm looking at an animal story here. No, that doesn't work for me. It's about tigers being born.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What about the? Did you hear about the pilot that found out that his kid was going to be returning home, and he figured out the flight that he would be able, being an airlines pilot, to be able to pilot that plane homeward and surprise his kid, which is kind of a cool story. I guess probably something going viral, I'm sure.
Oh, here's one. Well, okay. All right.
Don't.
All right.
No.
I will just tease it this way. Coming up on the news, we're going to be talking about the invasion of the B-listers from yesterday. We'll also take a look at a woman who apparently was very upset that she couldn't get a sub sandwich, actually a Subway sandwich. Oh, I know. I felt about getting violent on those times I couldn't get the vegetarian. Oh, my God. And getting dumped makes you better. Yeah, there you go. Those stories and more coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, on News Radio, 1120 KPNW. And right now, is she there?
She is.
Is it Linda Blair? The Linda Blair?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, Linda.
Hi.
How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Linda, let's talk about something that's going to be really good weather for. This is going to be amazing. The Give Us Five, we've had you on before about this event. Talk briefly, if you could, about what it's for and where it came from.
Well, this event was started 4 years ago. This will be our fourth year doing it, and the reason it's actually for cancer survivorship. It's a 5K walk run, and the reason why I guess the reason why I started, I wanted to give something back. After through my event. So I was pregnant. I was 19 weeks pregnant when I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. So I had my journey through this, and when we came out the other side, I just wanted to do something to positively impact the lives of cancer patients. And I was, when you're going through it, and and I think that the research, donating to research and all those things are really important. But I wanted to do something that was going to positively impact somebody today. I didn't want them, waiting. So we started Give Us Five, and it's just had a wonderful positive reaction from the community, and we've had a wonderful event, and we've been able to do some wonderful things in 4 years for local cancer survivors.
Yeah, well, go ahead and talk about this weekend's event, because people have the opportunity, maybe if they're going to be in your neck of the woods, or even want to, because they have these things called cars, they can actually drive up there and be a part of it.
Right. Yeah, we have people coming from Eugene, Portland, and Washington, and all around. But the event this weekend, Saturday, we are having it's like a pre-registration packet pickup at Woodstock's Pizza in Corvallis, and we're going to have beer tasting and by Deluxe Brewing, and Two Town Cider House is going to be there, and we have music and pizza, and it's a really fun time. So if you want to register on Saturday, if you're going to be down, you can do that from 11 to 3. And that's at Woodstock's Pizza. And then Sunday is the event, and we do have day of event registration starting at 8 a.m. The event will start at 9, and it's at the Benton County Fairgrounds. We've got some of the OSU athletes out there, and we'll be having coffee by Tried and True Coffee Company, and Trader Joe's, and there's a whole bunch of local businesses that come out. Samaritan and Silver Falls Dermatology will be doing. We'll be there with like sunscreens and all kinds of stuff. And there's a big silent auction this year too. So
oh, cool.
The rate is $25. If you're a college student, it's $20, and it's we reduce the cost for kids to participate to $15. So we really want, the idea is more what we're raising the money for, and the event, and the weather's going to be great, and the route is out in the country and around, so it's really a pretty race. We've got the OSU wrestling team doing our water. They'll be on the course. They've been with us since the very beginning, and it's just got wonderful energy because it's such a great cause.
And survivors will be out there. By the way, if you want to get information, the best thing to do, get the website, just Google "Give Us 5 Corvallis" and it'll pop up there. Linda.
Oh yeah. It's giveus5.com.
The weather is going to be incredible, and I have a feeling it seems like each and every year you get more and more attendance and support. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Linda. Of course, Give Us 5 happening on Sunday, and sounds like there's even a pre-party happening on Saturday. News coming up next, 11:20 KPNW at 7:13.
Burrito Amigos salutes the letter T. In English, T usually denotes the voiceless alveolar plosive, as in the words tap and tame, or taco, torta, and tostada, which really aren't English words, but if you're going to use examples, they should be delicious. And if they start with a T and they come from Burrito Amigos, well, they are. Now you can have your tortas, tacos, and tostadas with chicken, shredded beef, carne asada made with certified black Angus, or adobada, an amazing, spicy, tasty grilled pork. And none of those selections have the letter T, but Carnitas does. So if you're a voiceless alveolar plosive purist, then you'll enjoy that in your Burrito Amigos torta, taco, and tostada. In case you're wondering, a torta is sort of a grilled sandwich made on torta bread. Tamales and taquitos are also delicious Burrito Amigos T words. So is tofu, which some people want in their burritos from Burrito Amigos. Burrito Amigos, they didn't invent the letter T, they just made examples using it more delicious. Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, working their way through the alphabet, one tasty treat at a time.
Ramjack has your foundation solution. Ramjack can fix that. CCB 146906.
Who do I wrestle for? I wrestle on my high school team for Jason Garcia, my fiercest competitor during practice and my biggest fan during meets. I wrestle for my parents who practice what they preach, the importance of hard work, commitment, and dedication. I wrestle for the chance to put our little high school right here in Oregon on the map.
Wearing the uniform of your high school comes with a big responsibility. Younger kids look up to you. Your teammates count on you. And the reputation of your high school depends on you. Do you have what it takes to participate in a high school sport?
And I wrestle for the glory that is mine when I do my best. That's who I wrestle for.
This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
This is News Radio 1120 KPNW. And we've got the local story in the morning wake-up call.
Good morning. Let's look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. It was an invasion of the B-listers in Oregon.
Eugene, thank you all.
Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders brought his campaign to Eugene yesterday. He says the nation's drug laws aren't working.
We have got to rethink the so-called war on drugs.
Yeah, that's a plank for a presidential campaign. Sanders says marijuana laws are putting too many people in jail solely for possession.
I have introduced legislation to take marijuana out of the Federal Controlled Substance Act.
Sanders continued to attack Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Sanders says polls show he's a stronger candidate than Clinton against Trump. Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate John Kasich held a town hall in Portland, fielding questions on a variety of topics. Brad Ford reports a young boy posed one of the more difficult questions for Kasich to answer.
9-year-old Theodore asked Governor John Kasich a policy and strategy question.
What is exactly your plan to destroy ISIS?
Kasich said the U.S. can't do it alone.
You're going to have to do it in a coalition, just like we did
in the 90s.
Kasich said it'll require coordination and agreement among countries, along with force.
You have to go in the air and on the ground, and you have to get rid of them.
And he says once ISIS is gone, the future of the region should be left to the people of those countries. He also says it is time for the U.S. to pull its forces out of Afghanistan. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Bethel School District Superintendent Colt Gill is leaving. Gill, who'd been the Bethel superintendent for more than 10 years, has been recruited by Governor Kate Brown to be the state's education innovation officer. Gill will identify effective education practices, set policy, determine funding priorities in the hopes that it will improve the graduation rate and students' readiness for college or a career. The Bethel School Board is now deciding their next move.
We enjoy having Colt. He's a very good superintendent. But at the same time, you know, our job as a school board and also as the state it's about the kids. And if Colt can help more kids than just in the Bethel district by working at the state level, then that's great.
Bethel School Board member Greg Nelson says they aren't sure yet how long the search for a new superintendent is going to take. Gill will begin work with the state June 1st, but it's going to continue working with Bethel through most of June during the transition period. Two Lane County jail inmates are facing attempted murder charges after allegedly trying to shank another inmate. 30-year-old Adam Anderson is accused of committing the actual assault while 21-year-old Cody Britton assisted. That was in January. Anderson is also accused of trying to shank another inmate a couple of weeks ago. According to an affidavit in the case, the assaults were caught on video. A shank is a homemade knife-like weapon crafted while the inmate's in custody. According to court records, Anderson is a Bend resident who was in the Lane County Jail awaiting a federal court date on charges of being a felon in possession of a weapon. Britton's in jail on burglary and theft charges. Lane County Elections has mailed out the ballots for the May 17th primary election.
So we expect ballots start to arrive as early as the 29th, and they'll continue to be received through Tuesday. So if people have not received their ballots by May 3rd, they should call our office.
Lane County Clerk Cheryl Betchart also says that if you don't receive a ballot, you can go online to OregonVotes.gov and check on the status of your registration and also your ballot. Okay, so maybe it was low blood sugar, but a 68-year-old woman turned violent when she was told that the Subway store on Adams wasn't open yet. Police say that news sent Sharon Munson into a bit of a rage. First, she started shoving the employee, who then asked her to leave the Subway sandwich shop. From there, she went to a nearby apartment and began pounding on a random door. When the residents wouldn't open the door, she started to beat the door and dented it with a bike pedal, and then smeared the door with her own blood because she'd split her knuckles open. When the couple in the apartment actually did open the door, which was a bad idea, investigators say Munson forced her way in, broke the door frame in the process, and
she got in and she punched the woman and then pushed her as she was forcing her way inside. And she also pushed the man as he was trying to protect the woman.
Melinda McLaughlin of EPD says the arrival of the police didn't calm her down.
And two officers were able to contact Munson, and as one of them was getting her toward the front of his patrol car, she punched him in the stomach and tried to kick him in the legs.
Once subdued, Munson was charged with criminal trespass 1, harassment, criminal mischief, and possession of marijuana in excess of the legal amount. She ended up in the Lane County Jail, where she did not get a $5 footlong. A Benton County commissioner has been cited for driving under the influence of alcohol and released. Commissioner Annabelle Yarmio was cited in Corvallis for DUI after a traffic stop. Yarmio says she has an attorney and she wants to deal with the incident as quickly as possible. The reason for that is she happens to be running for re-election and would definitely like the incident to evaporate so that it doesn't affect her chances in the race. Philomath Police Chief Ken Rubin says Yarmio was stopped after her vehicle hit the curb at an intersection and drove down the middle of the road. He says she submitted to field sobriety tests and failed and was taken into custody without incident. She was cited and released. The case is pending prosecution since it involves an elected official. A special prosecutor will be assigned to the case. KPNW contacted the Philomath Police Department to ask about Jaramillo's blood alcohol content. They haven't returned our call. This winter was one of the wettest on record, and that resulted in snowpacks around Oregon being above average. Brad Ford reports the snow is now melting faster than normal.
What a difference a year makes. Last year, the state dealt with a drought. This year, snowpacks were at or above normal, but that's changing fast.
The warm temperatures have just really accelerated snow melt at all of our sites around the state.
Hydrologist Julie Caberly says most areas are now below normal for snowpack because it's melting.
And even though it came off a little early, many of the reservoirs were able to capture some of that early runoff.
If temperatures cool the next few weeks, Caberly says it would bring the snowpack closer to normal. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Okay, so here's your happy kicker story that Rob requested. So if you're an interesting, hardworking, beautiful woman who was dumped for another female, take heart. Your life will get better. And now science can prove it. Women's Health magazine reports new research from Binghamton University and University College in London, where they surveyed over 5,700 people from 96 countries and discovered that women who lose their other half come out of the experience with a higher mating intelligence and better odds for picking a real winner the next time around. Unfortunately, the other woman landed a man with a deceptive partner who has a history of cheating, and both are indicators that he'll do it again. So look at it this way. She got the loser. At 7:23, this look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
NFL draft kicked off last night with the first two picks going as expected, with Cal's Jared Goff going to the Rams, Carson Wentz from North Dakota State going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Then, 5 picks later,
with the 7th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select DeForest Buckner, defensive end, Oregon.
DeForest getting reunited with Chip Kelly and Eric Armstead down there in San Francisco. Seahawks took Jermaine Afeti from Texas A&M with the 31st pick. NBA Portland Trailblazers can close things out with the LA Clippers tonight. Last week, that seemed an unlikely outcome, being down 2-0. And the spring football game happens 11 o'clock tomorrow morning from Autzen Stadium. If you can't make it, it's going to air on the Pac-12 networks. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Stop in and check out the Max Pro Protein Powder lineup. Chocolate malt, blueberry, and strawberry banana. On Franklin across from Market of Choice. News time, 7:24.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out the door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we do have mostly cloudy skies. We've got temps right now in the mid to low 40s and light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. We are tracking some isolated showers off and on, and those look to continue throughout the day as the cold front will push through over the next few hours. Now, we don't expect a whole lot of rain out of this, only about 1/10 of an inch maximum, so just enough to probably mess up your car wash, but not quite enough to actually water your garden. That'll continue into the afternoon with the mostly cloudy skies. Temps will reach into the upper 50s to low 60s as that cold front will limit the daytime heating. Now, we are talking about a fantastic weekend. Once we get past this little storm system, high pressure moves in for your weekend, and that means we're going to look at a massive temperature jump throughout the weekend. Mid-60s for your Saturday, all the way to the upper 70s to low 80s for Sunday into your Monday. Get ready for a great weekend and a few tiny showers today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic Friday.
This winter, we received more rainfall than in the past 75 years. Severe weather could cause damage to your home's foundation. Ramjack can fix that. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com.
CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960. Do you know anyone who wastes time? They loaf, they procrastinate, no goals, no direction, no cares, they just simply wasting time. Well, Charles Darwin, the English biologist, probably summed it up best when he said, "A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life." Yes, those hours add up, and they usually add up to not only wasting your time, but wasting the opportunities to help others live their lives better. Also, planned thinking can make a positive difference. Value your life, fill up that time with success. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by Builders Electric, voted the Register Guard's 2015 Reader's Choice #1 electrical contractor, providing positive service for over 55 years. That's Builders Electric, CCB 4296.
Is your body getting enough protein every day? Try Max Pro at Max Muscle. These protein shakes are packed with protein, very low carbs, and zero sugar. Chocolate malt, strawberry banana smoothie, blueberry, and more. Max Muscle. Try it before you buy it. Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
It never rains when the wake-up call takes to the air. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Thanks for being with us this morning. Well, we first discussed this a couple of months ago. Funny, we mentioned Phil Romero a little bit earlier this morning in a completely different context. During a conversation with economist Phil Romero from the University of Oregon, has to do with IP28, Initiative Petition 28. It is an initiative that unions are currently looking to get enough signatures to get on the fall ballot that would tax gross receipts. All right, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that this morning with an economist from the Tax Foundation. Nicole Kading joins us on the Wake Up Call. Nicole, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so looking at this, you guys have taken a look at it. And let's, first off, before we even get into the study that you did on IP28, let's talk a little bit about the Tax Foundation. For folks that don't know, what is it?
Yes, the Tax Foundation is an 80-year-old think tank. We are based in Washington, D.C., and we focus on federal, state, and local tax issues and provide research to policymakers, to the media, and to the average Americans across this country.
Okay, so are you right of center, left of center, center? What? How do you guys view yourselves?
We are a nonpartisan tax organization.
Okay. So your goal is to just look at the numbers.
Exactly. Our goal is to be that unbiased outsider. I, of course, don't live in Oregon. I am not a part of the political landscape in Oregon, but provide that outsider's view of what is this proposal and what are the effects if it is to be adopted.
All right. So this seeks to impose an additional 2.5% gross receipts tax on Oregon corporations that make more, or actually have more, than $25 million in annual sales. Let's, for folks that don't know, briefly define a gross receipts tax.
Yes. So the way to think about a gross receipts tax is it's frequently compared to a sales tax, but it's like a sales tax that's on steroids. So with a sales tax, let's say you go to the grocery store and you buy a gallon of milk. The grocer is going to charge you a percentage, and say it's 5 or 6%. That's the national average of a state sales tax. That grocer is going to take that 5 or 6%, collect it, and send it to the state that is taxing that gallon of milk. But with a gross receipts tax, it's the gross sales of the grocer that is being taxed. But it's also then the gross sales of the distributor, of the packager, of the dairy, and so you actually have multiple levels of that production process that are being taxed, where that retail sales tax only taxes the final transaction.
Okay, so, and when we say gross receipts, we're talking about total sales. So let's say that I have a business that has $26 million a year in sales. We're talking about a tax on the gross, not on the net, right? So it doesn't take into account that I have expenses, like, for instance, I have employees, I have equipment, I have buildings that I have to upkeep, I have to maintain my trucks, my storage facilities, all those different things. It is literally on every penny that you bring in, correct?
That is correct. So with an income tax, you talk about this corporation that has $26 million in sales. With an income tax, if let's say that it costs the firm, however, $30 million to produce a product, let's say they have a loss of $4 million that year. Under an income tax, they would have no tax liability. But under a gross receipts tax, they have liability. It doesn't matter whether or not the firm is actually making money. So this penalizes firms in two ways. So one could be a firm that is maybe having a rough year or a rough couple of years. The economy could be stagnant in their industry and they're losing money. But it also could be hitting a firm that maybe hasn't even hit profitability yet. A newer firm that is still trying to build up, trying to get that first dollar of profits. A gross receipts tax doesn't care. It will tax those two businesses regardless of the income that they bring in.
Okay. And what about businesses, let's say, for instance, that work on a fairly thin margin? My understanding is, for instance, of grocery stores, and I'm talking about your average Safeway, Winco, Albertsons, that your margin is somewhere between like 1.5% and 2%, and where you're really making your profit is through, obviously a lot of volume. Is that correct or incorrect?
That is correct. My understanding is as well, grocers have a profit margin of below 2%. Many other industries, other retailers, car dealers could be one as well, some manufacturers. Their profit margins can be very slow, and if you're now taking 2.5% of all of their sales off the top, you're putting those firms into a very difficult position. And so what does that actually mean for the consumer, right? It means that prices are going to be more expensive, and it means that employers are going to face very difficult choices. Do they cut hours? Do they cut wages? Do they cut benefits? Do they not expand as rapidly as they otherwise would be? And so while we talk about businesses as the ones that are paying these taxes, these big businesses with more than $25 million in sales, it's really the average consumer and the average worker in Oregon that will bear the cost of this tax.
Okay. Where does Oregon right now, in terms of its corporate tax structure, where, in comparison to the other 49 states, where does Oregon kind of fall right now?
Right now, Oregon is in the bottom third of states if we're looking at and talking about tax structure. On our annual report that quantifies this, we put Oregon at the 37th best corporate tax climate in the country. If IP28 is to be adopted, we would, in our report, Oregon would actually fall to 50th. You would have the worst corporate tax structure in the entire country, which again just further emphasizes this point of that consumers and workers are going to feel the effect of this tax increase.
Okay. In this year, though, doesn't the state rank 11th overall on the State Business Tax Climate Index?
Oregon does rank 11th overall. So our report, it looks at 5 different types of taxes. So you're 11th overall, you're 37th on the corporate tax component. So the question is why? And it's because you don't have a sales tax and you don't have and your property taxes are capped with very strict constitutional protections. So those 2 types of taxes actually pull your score very, very high. You rank 4th in the country on the sales tax component since you don't have one. And so the overall ranking looks very good, and even with IP28, it would fall to 17th, which is still in, of course, the upper half of all states. But we drill down and we look at the corporate tax component. That's where we really see the effects of this tax increase.
So when you went through and we talked about, it's not only a tax on the gross receipts, say, of the grocery store, it's also the trucking company that brought the milk to the grocery store. It's the dairy that provided the milk that gets. Is that what they refer to as pyramiding when they talk about taxation and pyramiding?
Yes, pyramiding is a term that us tax economists use, and it's this idea that taxes are building up on itself. And so if we look at the public finance literature, taxes should only be assessed on those final goods, like I was talking about, that sales tax, taxing the gallon of milk at the grocer. But the gross receipts tax, it will pyramid because all of those levels of production are being taxed. And the economic literature is incredibly clear on this point. Gross receipts taxes are bad structures for taxation. And we look at this both theoretical level and there's numerous case studies. In fact, if we look back, Adam Smith, the founder of model economics 250 years ago, he wrote about how gross receipts taxes were a bad idea. So these are not a new type of tax, and the literature is very, very clear. These are not the way to raise revenue at the state level.
Nicole Kading joining us from the Tax Foundation. Nicole, I'm just curious, during your research, did you take a look at, and were you able to find a percentage of how many businesses would fall under this, $25 million plus umbrella?
I looked at data from the Department of Revenue in Oregon, and using the most recent data that is available, about 1,000 firms will be affected, and about half of those firms are between $25 and $50 million in annual sales. So there's a number of businesses that will be affected, but many of them, they're not incredibly large companies. I know $25 to $50 million sounds like a lot of money, but in terms of the size of a business, that's actually a fairly small to medium-sized firm.
All right. You said 1,000 businesses in Oregon would be affected by it?
Yes. According to the most recent data, yes.
Wow. All right. Well, Nicole, for folks that would like to maybe take a look at the report you've been working on in regards to this, where do they go? What do they do?
Easiest place to go is to go to our website, taxfoundation.org.
All right. Nicole, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you take care. Coming up next, we're going to be talking to one of the candidates for Secretary of State. He'll be joining us here on the Wake Up Call at 7:37.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Wall Street is extending the Thursday sell-off. The Dow down 114 points, the Nasdaq down 30, and the S&P down 12, as Wall Street looks at what's in your wallet and at big oil. We had more money to spend in March. Personal income rose 0.4%, but we weren't spending it. Personal spending was up just 0.1%, leaving out inflation. It was flat. ExxonMobil posted its weakest quarterly profit in more than a decade as energy prices continue to tumble. First quarter income fell to just over $1.8 billion, but that was well above the estimate of analysts surveyed by Bloomberg. It's the sixth straight drop in earnings, Exxon's longest losing streak since 2002. Shares of Exxon, though, up about 1%. Chevron's first quarter loss was a lot worse than expected, 39 cents a share versus estimates of 18 cents for a total loss of $725 million. Chevron shares down 1%. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Get instant cash back at Discount Windows.
Discount Windows is working with Energy Trust of Oregon to help you reduce energy costs and improve the comfort of your home.
Don't wait 6 to 8 weeks for a check. Make your project more affordable right now with instant savings.
We've handed out over $20,000 in instant cash incentives in just 5 months. Instant savings at Discount Windows.
Highway 99 in Junction City.
Open 7 days a week.
Instant cash incentives applies to windows installed by Discount Windows. CCB 180018.
Shopping for your next grill at Midgley's is easy and convenient. Unlike home improvement stores, a walk across Midgley's doesn't require a relay baton. We know all about grills, too. Just don't ask us about sandpaper or toilet seats. And you don't need to remember where you parked. Our customer-friendly lot is directly behind our store. Get your next grill at Midgley's. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
For the all-new John Deere riding mowers, tractors, and side-by-sides, think Ramsey Waite.
Make tracks to Ramsey Waite for John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers.
There's nothing like a John Deere Gator utility vehicle. From hard-working and trail-ready to the ultimate in work capability. Get into a Gator now at Ramsey Waite.
Don't just dream about it, wait for it!
Ramsey Waite.
Open Monday through Saturday. Franklin Boulevard, Glenwood. Online at RamseyWaite.com.
Brad's Car Tunes in Springfield has arrived. The same great car, ATV, and marine audio hub in Eugene has come to Springfield. Brad's Car Tunes is the place to go for speakers, head units, subs, amplifiers, DVD players, and security systems. Professional custom installs on site. Brad's Car Tunes, 7th and Blair in Eugene and 38th and Main in Springfield. Stay tuned.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're out and about on those roads, we are tracking a few isolated light showers out there. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now are in the mid-40s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. This afternoon, the mostly cloudy skies look to continue, and so do the chances of showers as a weak cold front will move through the area. Now, we aren't expecting more than about 1/10 of an inch out of this system, and there's a very, very small chance it could give us a few isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. The cold front will limit the highs in the mid to upper 50s out there with a few low 60s in the south. Winds will pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15 with a few gusts up to 20, but this is a quick system. It'll be gone by later tonight, replaced by a pocket of high pressure for your weekend, and that's good news. The high pressure will keep storm systems away, clearing the skies for Saturday, Sunday into your Monday, and creating a dramatic temperature jump for Sunday into your Monday. Now, Saturday looks to be in the mid to upper 60s, but Sunday and Monday, upper 70s to mid 80s out there. Get ready for a fantastic weekend and a few light showers today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day out there.
We're thinking about it. Guarantee Discount Chevrolet reminds you that if you're one of those folks, you've had some sort of economic crisis in your life. Maybe it was student loans or maybe it was medical bills that essentially took down and destroyed your savings account and ruined your credit. They want you to know that if you're one of those folks that goes out, you've got a full, you've got a job, you're working to make ends meet and your car breaks down, they can help you get into an automobile in 48 hours or less. It's called the Good People with Bad Credit Program, and they will help you not only get back on the road so you can get to work and try to pay off those bills, but also it'll help you get your credit restored. So call Guarantee Discount Chevrolet and ask about the Good People Bad Credit Program. 541-998-2333. That's 541-998-2833. It's Guarantee Discount Chevrolet.
Whoop-dee-doo, whoop-dee-doo. I hear a polka and my troubles are through.
That concludes the musical portion of our program. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
the Wake Up Call with Holloway and London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Does he know we're streaming?
I don't know.
This is great.
This is awesome. It's the air drums. Now we need an air guitar. We need an air band in here so that you can
get the band back together.
Yeah, you can get the full band in here. Are they your favorite band? Is Rush?
Oh,
they're
top three without a doubt.
Who's the other two? Okay, who are the other two?
I would say Led Zeppelin for sure. Led Zeppelin, Rush, and believe it or not, I'm a huge Yes fan. Old Yes.
Really?
I like that progressive rock. Yeah, just part of it. It's the musicians involved. They're just so musically talented. But Rush, hey, myself, my two sons, we saw them at the Moda, their final show in Oregon. Yeah, so
Rob over here is spinning the hits.
Yeah, even though it was kind of funny this is perfect because when I was coming in, the Zoo by the Scorpions was on. I thought, well, this is apropos coming in and talking about my candidacy and where we are in the Oregon Secretary of State's race. The Zoo, so perfect.
So are people showing up and just being violent at your campaign stops? Are they rioting and destroying police cars and punching your supporters in the face?
I'm just thrilled when people show up.
Okay, that's
no,
fair.
actually, no. It's been, you know what? Different organized groups have invited all the candidates to come speak to them and talk about our races, and I'll show up, and there'll be candidates for U.S. Senate, for the governor's race. I mean, we're all there just talking about our candidacy. So it's actually been great.
By the way, in case you haven't figured it out, it's Lane County Commissioner Sid Lycan, whom we didn't really even say who he was, and he also is running for Secretary of State. If you've been ignoring all of it for a while. Okay, so you're running for Secretary of State. You show up at these things. The jackbooted thugs show up. They destroy your car. No, they're not doing that.
No, very. It's very extremely civil.
Are you thinking about maybe building a wall around Salem, though? Can you do that for us? If you're secretary, can you build a wall around Salem?
No, but I got to tell you, I hope the next Secretary of State, and I hope it's myself, the one thing that we need to do is get out of Salem and actually travel around the state and talk to citizens on a fairly regular basis to really find out, because I just came from Eastern Oregon, and I got to tell you, talk about citizens who feel completely neglected. And heard that very loud and clear.
For a long time.
It has been, and yet, but if you think about it, you're in an area where they have one of the most crucial ports in the state, the Port of Morrow, and that is a very busy port. They have a lot of activity going on as far as the economy is concerned, but their concerns are not only the Port of Morrow, but the Port of Portland is a big issue. That container disaster that's happened at the Port of Portland is a big issue because you have a lot of ag business. And if they're not able to ship it out of the Port of Morrow, they're having to take it on trucks on I-84, unload, and then go to Tacoma, Tacoma with Eastern Oregon. But then you have Southern Oregon, and they're having to go to Port of Oakland. So we're losing so much business here at the largest port in our state, and that's very unfortunate.
Okay, so there's a lot of people, and this surprised me, and we talked about this. I saw you at a gathering back in, I think it was December, and you and I were just kind of chatting, and you mentioned something very interesting about the Secretary of State's office that I don't think most people know. You're bringing up shipping for a very specific reason. Most folks would think, what the hell does the Secretary of State have to do with shipping? I mean, the Secretary of State, that's an audit elections thing. Not completely.
Not completely at all. In fact, the governor, the state treasurer, and the Secretary of State make up the state land board. And I think if you were to mention the state land board, I think most people would automatically assume harvesting on state lands. But what the other part of that's so key is that all navigable waterways in the state of Oregon. And that includes working with the ports and really having what I would call an opportunity to help oversee. Now, can we walk in and tell the management of the ports and the longshoremen unions to get together and you need to come to an agreement or else? No. But I think it's important that you have somebody who has some sort of, I think what's missing is a leadership piece. You do not have the governor, the Secretary of State, the state treasurer walking into the ports and saying, come on, let's sit down and see if we can mediate or compromise and get this moving, because as I stated, Oregon relies on exports. That is so key for us. It creates so much opportunity, so many jobs here, here in the state. But yet we are leaving so much money and so much opportunity on the table by not making sure our largest port is working for us, and it's hurting us.
So why has then the Secretary of State, the Treasurer's office, and the Governor's office pretty much abdicated their bully pulpit? Let's put it that way. Abdicated that bully pulpit of being, the land board. Why have they not gotten involved in this? Why haven't they said, let's get all of the plank holders together and sit down and figure this out?
You know, that's the big question, and unfortunately, I don't have a very good answer for that. I don't know why. And it was interesting because I was actually, when you talk about the State Land Board, it resonates with folks in Douglas County. It resonates with folks in Coos County. So I was in Washington County, and I was talking about the importance of the State Land Board and why it's important to you in Washington County and the Portland metro area, and I made the connection with the ports, and all of a sudden it's like the light bulb went off and they realized, wow, I didn't realize that. And so you were right, a lot of people do not realize that and the importance of it, and why having a Secretary of State who, while sure our chief function, chief elections officer, I think audits is getting a lot more play than it ever has been in the race in the past. But you're the chief auditor, corporations division, and you're the head of, and the archives and records are part of the office. But then the member of the State Land Board, I think, and I must tell you, as I have spoken to citizens throughout the state, we talk about that issue. It has really begun to resonate, and you know, we're in the home stretch. Hopefully it continues to resonate on May 17th, but we'll find out.
All right. Is your opponent, Dennis Richardson, is he talking about that?
From what I can gather, I think Dennis is more focused on the audit side, and we're using the audit function to hold government agencies accountable, which I think I'm in total agreement. In fact, if you hear all the candidates speak, Senator Devlin has made that a pretty strong part of his platform on the Democratic side as well. But the audit function is interesting because, as you know, I chair finance and audit at Lane County, right, which deals mostly with the financial audits. But also, I've worked very closely with our performance auditor, Shanda Miller, who actually came from the Secretary of State's office. And I got to tell you, the audit function, they fall under very strict guidelines set forth by the GAO. So you can't just walk in and say, you know, I have access to grind, and so you're going to audit that department or else. That's not how it works. The audit function has to be so nonpartisan. You have to have the filters really have to be on, so you're not really focusing in on, you know, we're going to audit that function because of this did this, and I've got access to grind, and I have to deal with these special interests. It can't be that way. It has to be very
it's not
nonpartisan.
supposed to be that way.
No, it really shouldn't, and frankly, that's I think my experience as working so closely with government auditors. I would match my experience on that against any candidate right now running, and my understanding of how it works.
Okay, then let's take a look at. I'm just going to bring up a hypothetical here. DHS, been under scrutiny, in particular child welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Would then the Secretary of State's office had they audited DHS, would they have been able to see the mess that was going on there? Or are the rules for the Secretary of State's office set up in such a way that they actually could not have audited that in a way that would have exposed a lot of this stuff that's been going on, not just for months, but for years and years?
So when your auditors, and remember, you have a total of 72 auditors within that work for the Secretary of State. About half are financial, half are performance.
Okay.
So even a department like that, it's going to take time. I think what you would find, and again, if it's on performance, it's really going to be based on risk. And I think it's pretty telling that there's going to be some pretty high risk. You can perform the audit. And I think what you would have is issues that would come forward. And remember, audits for the most part are for correcting.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'd have issues to come forward. Here's the challenge, I think, that comes from after the audits are performed, the Secretary of State's office does not necessarily have any teeth to really have a follow-through so that the department then has to abide by those recommendations. So the difference is Lane County Board of Commissioners, our performance auditor comes back, she has recommendations. We then, as a board, can vote and say, you are going to follow through with these recommendations, department heads, and so on and so forth, where the Secretary of State's office doesn't have that. And so you really have to have some sort of legislative concept. You'd have to have the legislature involved and the governor involved and say, you need to follow through with this or else heads will roll. And that's a real big challenge right now.
Well, and I understand that, but the main question is, could an audit have occurred that would have exposed these things? So then the legislative side can go do whatever it is they're not going to do, because let's be honest here, they don't generally act unless it's too embarrassing for them. Okay.
Yes. And again, I don't think you want to focus on, this is the other area, is that I don't think you want to focus on like projects. So people talk about the Columbia River crossing. I do know that ODOT, there's an audit now underway at ODOT, and it needs to be,
thank God.
Yeah, and it needs to be macro and not micro. So you really have to look at the operation as a whole and understand why $200 million of taxpayers' money was spent on a project with a shovel never getting into the ground. So you really then have to focus on, and this is where I think this audit is going, is my understanding coming from Commissioner Bainey, who's the chair of the commission, said it's going to be on the management side. And frankly, that is a great place to start, to get an understanding what happened, why are these things taking place. So on DHS, you need to look at the department as a whole, and that will allow you to uncover what's happened within the department itself.
Wow, I can't believe we're almost out of time. Okay, so again, you're running against Dennis Richardson here in the primaries. Have you come up with a clever nickname a la Trump for him, like Colicky Dennis?
No.
Anything like that?
No, actually, Dennis and I are friends. And
Angry Richie?
No, nothing like that. I think what we do, in fact, today we're both going to be at the Portland City Club. And it's a big debate in the Portland City Club. The Democrats are debating, followed by us. So I haven't come. No, and I'm not going to. I'm just laying out my credentials, and the voters will say yes or no, and we'll go from there.
Who do you, if you were to lay odds on the Democratic side? I mean, you've got Devlin, you've got the current Labor Commissioner Brad Avakian. Her name just
Val Hoyle.
Val Hoyle. Thank you. And Val Hoyle. I mean, if you were to pick a winner in that, who do you think's going to pull that one off? I'm kind of thinking Avakian.
Well, I would probably, the trend is probably going towards Avakian, but I got to tell you, I think this election process as a whole, who would ever thought that Bernie Sanders would have been catching on? And who in their right mind would ever thought that Donald Trump was going to be the likely nominee, the Republican side? So I think this year is one of those years where you can talk about maybe past trends, but is it going to be reality? And you know, I'm the true outsider, by the way, right? I'm not a Salem insider whatsoever.
Oh, look, he's an outsider.
Yeah, that I am. And so we'll see how that resonates.
All right. Sid, thanks for coming in this morning.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And you know, my wife and I were talking about this morning. No matter what happens, you know, first of all, this doesn't define who I am. I mean, I'm a husband, father, and I'm great, and a drummer in my church. And so that's, and I still love Rush.
I'm just a lowly church drummer. All right, good enough.
Thank you.
Folks, you got a website, quickly.
Sure, SidLeiken.com, Sid Leiken for Oregon on Facebook, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well.
All right. Sid Leiken on the Wake Up Call. That's a wrap of the 7 o'clock hour at 7:58.
All right, situation on I-5 at milepost 184, 4 miles south of the intersection with 58. We've got a crash. Again, milepost 184, there I-5 near 58. You see anything else, you let us know, and we'll pass it on. 8 o'clock with the Wake Up Call right here.
Depend on us for breaking news from the local neighborhood to the global one. We are News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The Pentagon set to announce punishments for the accidental airstrike on a hospital in Afghanistan. Fox Radio's John Decker live at the White House.
Lisa, the Pentagon will be disciplining 16 service members, including a 2-star general, for mistakes that led to the deadly airstrike on a Doctors Without Borders hospital in Afghanistan, but no one will face criminal charges. Of those receiving punishments from the Defense Department, one officer was suspended from command and ordered out of Afghanistan. The others were given lesser punishments. The fallout comes after a 6-month Pentagon investigation of the attack, which killed 42 medical workers and patients. Doctors Without Borders has described the attack as a war crime. Lisa?
Thanks, John. Indiana's governor set to endorse Ted Cruz just 3 days before the primary.
I think Governor Mike Pence is an optimistic, positive, unifying force.
Cruz moments ago as he barnstorms the state with running mate Carly Fiorina.
I call on the people of the Hoosier State to stand with us, to fight with us, because we are at a crossroads for our party and for our nation.
Donald Trump still stumping in California, where protests outside a Costa Mesa rally got violent last night. About 20 arrests, no serious injuries. A proposal to take criminal history off the table temporarily at some federal agencies. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland live in D.C.
The Obama administration will announce a proposed rule that could make it easier for job applicants with criminal histories to land a job with the federal government. The rule would prohibit federal agencies from asking candidates about their criminal and credit histories early in the hiring process. The White House says early screening eliminates too many job candidates too soon without making sure an arrest even led to a conviction. The proposed change would not apply to many jobs in national security, intelligence, and law enforcement. Lisa?
Thanks, Rachel. You're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
Runners should take proper precautions such as warming up and stretching to avoid injuries, but no one is immune. Running injuries usually happen when you push yourself too hard or ignore pre-existing conditions. The way your body moves also plays a role. Neurospine Institute's Runners Clinic is conveniently located right here in Tracktown, USA. Their team of professionals can help you avoid common injuries and treat those that already exist. Using specialized diagnostic techniques and software, they will examine your movement patterns and implement a plan of care to improve performance and reduce pain.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg Clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
Is to a helicopter crash off Norway's coast. Say the rotor went flying away from the chopper before it went down, killing all 13 on board, mostly Norwegian nationals being transported from an offshore oil field. Election day violence in Iran. Fox Radio's Jessica Gallagher, live in our Mideast Bureau.
Lisa, the rare outbreak of violence in Tehran coming after an argument between supporters of hardliners and reformists that escalated into a shooting during a runoff election for parliament. 4 people have been wounded. The elections are key and are expected to decide exactly how much power moderate forces backing President Hassan Rouhani will have. The semi-official ISNA news agency quoting Iran's deputy interior minister for security and saying the situation is calm but did not elaborate. Lisa?
Jessica, Vice President Joe Biden and Pope Francis speaking privately between speeches, both attending a conference on regenerative medicine at the Vatican. Biden's speech was part of his push for cancer research. Should doctors prescribing painkillers be required to take safety courses? The FDA will consider that again. Federal documents show a panel of advisors meeting next week will review risk management plans put in place nearly 4 years ago. Critics say those plans didn't go far enough. An iconic game show returns.
ABC announced that Alec Baldwin will host Match Game, which first aired over a half-century ago. It's a panel game show that features 2 contestants who compete to match the answers from 6 celebrities in filling in a missing blank. And the show will round out a full Sunday night of game shows, starting at 8, with Steve Harvey returning as host of Celebrity Family Feud, and Michael Strahan presiding over the $100,000 pyramid.
Fox Radio's Michelle Polino. Stocks tumbling on the last day of April for Wall Street. The Dow's down 118. Oil prices over $46 a barrel. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Hey, welcome in. 1120 KPNW. Overcast skies, some wet in your Friday. 58 for the high, partly cloudy and 40 coming up tonight. Cloudy and 68 coming up tomorrow. Sunshine and 80 coming up on Sunday. 52 degrees currently at 1120 KPNW. Whatever situation we had out there on I-5, looks like it is been fixed. So we got a clean bill of health out there. Let's hope that continues. And if you should see anything, don't create it or look for anything or wish for anything. But if you should see it, let us know so we can tell the other 14 here live and local, Eugene, Springfield. All right, coming up after news, a new feature. We've got, with the May 17th impending date, which hopefully is circled and you're registered and ready to go. We need to kind of ramp up our local coverage. So we have, we can't say we've hired anybody, but we've got a
new political,
local political analyst
right
here on the Wake Up Call. We'll get to know coming up after news.
Yeah, we'll have these stories coming up in just a couple of seconds. Okay, so the B-listers were in Oregon yesterday. We'll tell you what they were talking about. We'll also take a look at someone who apparently did not get her $5 footlong and was not a happy camper. We'll also take a look at some of the snowpack again. Those stories and more coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, here on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News time 8:07.
A tasty meal can make your day. A solid breakfast puts a good spin on things at the beginning of the day. A great meal in the evening can usually salvage a lousy day. Burrito Amigos can definitely cover the bases and be first in rotation or back cleanup. Fast and hot, Burrito Amigos breakfast burritos are fresh and tasty. You choose the meat. The bacon burritos have 2 types of bacon. The machaca burritos are made from certified black Angus. Or get tasty and zesty chorizo, link sausage, huevos ranchero made with green salsa, or go meatless. On the back end of the day, let Burrito Amigos do the cooking while you enjoy other great items off the menu like quesadillas, tostadas, tamales, wet burritos, even something more unique like lengua burritos or Mexican cheesesteak burritos. Let Burrito Amigos be the beginning of a great day or the salvation to a bad one. Smiles all around from Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones in Eugene and Springfield. I'm Bill London, and I approve all the breakfast burritos and about half of the rest of the menu. The other half I haven't eaten yet. The Albany Gun and Knife Show, produced by Wes Nodell, is this weekend at the Lynn County Fairgrounds. It's a firearms shopping paradise. Plus, enter to win a Pink Thunder Technologies AR-15 carbine. This weekend at the Lynn County Fairgrounds, just $7 at the door.
If you've dreamed of owning an RV, let the RV Corral help make those dreams come true. The RV Corral is Eugene's largest Winnebago dealer for motorhomes and lightweight travel trailers. Over 200 new and pre-owned motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and campers. All Class A and C motorhomes are on sale now. With local owners for 28 years and all local employees, the RV Corral will be there to help you make your RV dreams come true. Easy to find on Highway 99, 1 mile south of Beltline. Buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
There's a lot of things out there that we don't understand. It doesn't mean that they don't exist. And that's why I just love your program.
Kind of a messy job. Hey, somebody's got to do it, right? I'm George Norrie.
George Norrie on News Radio 1120 KPNW. Local news, local people. The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
And good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Well, it was the invasion of the B players in Oregon.
Eugene, thank you all.
Democratic presidential candidate and socialist Bernie Sanders brought his campaign to Eugene. He says the nation's drug laws aren't working.
We have got to rethink the so-called war on drugs.
Sanders says marijuana laws are putting too many people in jail solely for possession.
I have introduced legislation to take marijuana out of the Federal Controlled Substance Act.
Sanders says that his campaign has gained so much ground that in several polls he's a better candidate against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
You are looking at the strongest Democratic candidate.
Sanders criticized Clinton for her connections to Wall Street and Trump for being out of touch with Americans. And this is the guy that still thinks that they use subway tokens. Republican presidential candidate John Kasich, the other B-lister, held a town hall in Portland, fielding questions on a variety of topics. Brad Ford reports that a young boy posed one of the more difficult questions for him to answer.
9-year-old Theodore asked Governor John Kasich a policy and strategy question.
What is exactly your plan to destroy ISIS?
Kasich said the U.S. can't do it alone.
You're going to have to do it in a coalition, just like we did in the 90s.
Kasich said it'll require coordination and agreement among countries, along with forests.
You have to go in the air and on the ground, and you have to get rid of them.
And he says once ISIS is gone, the future of the region should be left to the people of those countries. He also says it is time for the U.S. to pull its forces out of Afghanistan. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Bethel School District Superintendent Colt Gill is leaving. Gill, who's been the Bethel Super for more than 10 years, has been recruited by Governor Kate Brown to be the state's Education Innovation Officer. His job will be to identify effective education practices, set policy, and determine funding priorities to improve the graduation rates in Oregon, as well as improve student readiness for college or a career. The Bethel School Board is now deciding their next move.
We enjoy having Colt. He's a very good superintendent. But at the same time, you know, our job as a school board and also as the state it's about the kids. And if Colt can help more kids than just in the Bethel district by working at the state level, then that's great.
Bethel school board member Greg Nelson says they aren't sure yet how long the search for a new superintendent is going to take. Colt is set to begin work with the state on June 1st, but will also continue working with Bethel through most of June. 2 Lane County inmates are facing attempted murder charges after allegedly trying to shank another inmate. 30-year-old Adam Anderson is accused of committing the actual assault while being assisted by 21-year-old Cody Britton. Anderson is also accused of trying to shank another inmate a couple of weeks ago. According to an affidavit in the case, the assaults were caught on video. A shank, by the way, is a homemade weapon, usually a knife, crafted while the inmate is in custody. According to court records, Anderson is a Bend resident who was in the Lane County Jail awaiting a federal court date on charges of being a felon in possession of a weapon. Britton is in jail on burglary and theft charges. Lane County Elections mailed the ballots out for the May 17th primary election.
So we expect ballots start to arrive as early as the 29th, and they'll continue to be received through Tuesday. So if people have not received their ballots by May 3rd, they should call our office.
Lane County Clerk Cheryl Betchart also says that voters who do not receive a ballot for the May 17th primary can check the status of their registration and ballot at OregonVotes.gov. Well, maybe it was low blood sugar, but a 68-year-old woman turned rather violent when she was told that the Subway store on Adams had yet to open. It was at 6:40 in the morning. So police say that next, Sharon Munson flew into a rage. First, she started shoving the employee who asked her to leave Subway. From there, she went to a nearby apartment complex and started pounding on a random door. When the residents wouldn't open the door, she proceeded to beat and dent the door with a bike pedal and then smeared the door with her own blood. When the couple in the apartment made the bad decision of finally opening the door, investigators say Munson forced her way in, breaking the door frame in the process.
And she got in and she punched the woman and then pushed her as she was forcing her way inside. And she also pushed the man as he was trying to protect the woman.
Melinda McLaughlin of EPD says the arrival of police didn't seem to calm her down.
And 2 officers were able to contact Munson, and as one of them was getting her toward the front of his patrol car, she punched him in the stomach and tried to kick him in the legs.
Once subdued, Munson was charged with criminal trespass, harassment, criminal mischief, and possession of marijuana in excess of the legal amount. No $5 footlong for you. A Benton County commissioner has been cited for driving under the influence and released. Commissioner Annabelle Yarmillo was cited in Corvallis for driving under the influence. Yarmillo says she has an attorney and she's going to be dealing with the incident as quickly as possible. Of course she would say that because Yarmillo is running for re-election and she would like nothing more than to have this incident evaporate so it doesn't affect her chances in the race. Paloma's police chief, Ken Rubin, says Yarmillo was stopped after her vehicle hit a curb at an intersection and then proceeded to drive down the middle of the road. He says she submitted to field sobriety tests and was taken into custody without incident. Then she was cited and released. The case is pending prosecution since it involves an elected official. A special prosecutor has been assigned to the case. KPNW contacted the Philomath Police Department asking questions, including her blood alcohol content. Philomath Police have yet to reply. Well, this winter was one of the wettest on record, and that resulted in snowpacks around Oregon being above average. Brad Ford reports the snow, though, is also now melting faster than average.
What a difference a year makes. Last year, the state dealt with a drought. This year, snowpacks were at or above normal, but that's changing fast.
The warm temperatures have just really accelerated snow melt at all of our sites around the state.
Hydrologist Julie Caberly says most areas are now below normal for snowpack because it's melting.
And even though it came off a little early, many of the reservoirs were able to capture some of that early runoff.
If temperatures cool the next few weeks, Caberly says it would bring the snowpack closer to normal. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Oregon bakery owners who denied service to a same-sex couple are arguing that a state ruling ordering them to pay $135,000 in damages violates state and federal laws. Bakery owners Aaron and Melissa Klein filed a brief with the Oregon Court of Appeals this week, arguing the Oregon Bureau of Labor and Industries violated the Klein's rights as artists to free speech, their rights as Oregonians to religious freedom, and their rights as defendants to a due process. Damages were awarded in July for emotional suffering caused by Sweet Cakes by Melissa. They were awarded, of course, by the Bureau of Labor and Industries, which, by the way, Sweet Cakes by Melissa 3 years ago refused to make a wedding cake for Laurel and Rachel Bowman Cryer. The bakers said their refusal was prompted by their religious beliefs. Well, the Director of Licensing and Regulatory Oversight at the Oregon Department of Human Services is stepping down amid criticism of how the agency manages foster care providers. Donna Ketty's last day as Director of the Office of Licensing and Regulatory Oversight is today. She's being transferred to Bend as a regional manager for vocational rehab in Central and Eastern Oregon. The announcement of the transfer was made in an email to staff. DHS Director Clyde Sakai says the transfer was voluntary and that Ketty was herself asked to be reassigned. The Office of Licensing and Regulatory Oversight has been under fire since last year when it was reported that at least 7 foster homes had been under investigation for mistreating children without ever having their licenses removed. There was also a department staffing shakeup in 2015 after a Northwest Portland provider was accused of neglecting children and misusing state money for years, all with knowledge, of course, from state officials. That scandal prompted legislation to shore up the foster care system. Well, officials say 11 workers at the Hartford Nuclear Reservation who reported headaches were sent for medical evaluations after working near an area where waste from a leaking tank was being transferred. The first 2 workers were medically evaluated, and they were wearing oxygen respirators because they were in an area where they were working that would have increased their exposure to chemical vapors. It was after they left the area that they removed the respirators, and both reported then suspicious odors and said they had severe headaches. They were evaluated and treated in an on-site medical provider's office. 2 other workers reported odors while walking the transfer line for the waste pumped from the leaking double-shell tank. 7 other employees nearby also reported odors and headaches. Those workers also sought on-site medical evaluations. The results are not immediately available. Earlier this month, officials revealed that a tank known as AY-102 had leaked several thousand gallons of radioactive waste from its primary tank. It's 8:19. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
NFL draft kicked off last night with the first 2 picks. As expected, Cal's Jared Goff going to the Rams. Carson Wentz from North Dakota State getting a call from the Philadelphia Eagles. Then, 5 picks later, this happened.
With the 7th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select DeForest Buckner, defensive end, Oregon.
DeForest getting reunited with the likes of Chip Kelly and Eric Armstead with San Francisco. Chip had publicly expressed an interest in D, but when does he show his hand? Well, he did. News after that was the rise and fall. Ole Miss star Laramie Tunsil goes high with some mocks as well, having him as high as number 3, but he actually fell to number 13 on a draft night. Social media account hacked. World got to see a photo of him with a gas mask, a mask attached to a bong. Dolphins ended up taking him. Seahawks took Jermaine Ifedi from Texas A&M with the 31st pick. NBA, Portland Trailblazers can close things out with the LA Clippers tonight. Last week, that seemed an unlikely outcome to be in after being down 2-0. Spring football game happens at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Autzen Stadium, if you can't make it, it's going to air on the Pac-12 networks. Wake Up Call Sports, brought to you by Max Muscle. Where's your finish line? Set a goal, make a plan, get results. On Franklin, across from Market of Choice, news time, 8:21.
KPNW weather, brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're out and about on those roads, we are tracking a few isolated light showers out there. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now are in the mid-40s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. This afternoon, the mostly cloudy skies look to continue, and so do the chances of showers as a weak cold front will move through the area. Now, we aren't expecting more than about 1/10 of an inch out of this system, and there's a very, very small chance it could give us a few isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. The cold front will limit the highs in the mid to upper 50s out there with a few low 60s in the south. Winds will pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15 with a few gusts up to 20, but this is a quick system. It'll be gone by later tonight, replaced by a pocket of high pressure for your weekend, and that's good news. The high pressure will keep storm systems away, clearing the skies for Saturday, Sunday into your Monday, and creating a dramatic temperature jump for Sunday into your Monday. Now, Saturday looks to be in the mid to upper 60s, but Sunday and Monday, upper 70s to mid 80s out there. Get ready for a fantastic weekend and a few light showers today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day out there.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
For the all-new John Deere riding mowers, tractors, and side-by-sides, think Ramsey Weight.
Make treks to Ramsey Weight for John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers.
There's nothing like a John Deere Gator utility vehicle. From hardworking and trail-ready to the ultimate in work capability. Get into a Gator now at Ramsey Weight.
Don't just dream about it, wait for it.
Ramsey Weight.
Open Monday through Saturday. Franklin Boulevard, Glenwood. Online at RamseyWeight.com.
Brad's Car Tunes in Springfield has arrived. The same great car, ATV, and marine audio hub in Eugene has come to Springfield. Brad's Car Tunes is the place to go for speakers, head units, subs, amplifiers, DVD players, and security systems. Professional custom installs on site. Brad's Car Tunes, 7th and Blair in Eugene and 38th and Main in Springfield. Stay tuned.
Where's your finish line? Set a goal, make a plan, get results. Max Muscle offers customized nutrition plans by a certified nutritionist. Learn what and how much food to eat, when to eat, and how it relates to your body. Stop into Max Muscle today, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Tune in to Real Estate Today, weekdays at 5:30 p.m.
I'm Bob Nelson, real estate investment broker and exchange specialist. Cascade Exchange Services is my choice for completing tax-deferred exchanges. Megan McMahon, who's a CPA, is my choice of the person to handle my tax-deferred exchanges. It's a locally owned company. They do business on a nationwide basis, same-day document preparation, and she's always available for free and very excellent consultation. Contact Megan at Cascade Exchange Services.
Is it time to sell your house, and do you have work that needs to be done first, but you don't have the money? The bottom line is that when you improve your property, you get more money than other homeowners.
Over the years, Harpole Real Estate with Keller Williams Realty understands this better than any other agent or company because they outsell all other agents. Eric, Jeanette, and their entire team will put up their own money to make sure you get the most out of your house. Their enhanced listing will help clean up, repair, and upgrade your home to get you in the best position to maximize your home sale. Everyone's situation is different, so call for a free no-pressure consultation, 541-286-5600. 3030.
Unlike other agents, they offer flexible commissions and an exclusive enhanced listing, and you can cancel at any time. With agents in Lane, Douglas, and Lynn counties, call Harpole Real Estate, 541-286-3030, 541-286-3030, online at harpolehomes.com.
This is your wake-up call.
It's like no cheese I've ever tasted.
News Radio 1120, KPNW.
8:25, 25 minutes after 8 o'clock with the wake-up call. So proud here on the wake-up call to introduce to you a new segment and a new personality on KPNW. Our political analyst is going to kind of ramp us up, get us ready for May 17th as all eyes, or some of them, will be on Oregon. Thomas, or Tom, or Tommy, is going to be taking us into the next couple of weeks, getting us up to speed. Tommy, the 12-year-old, joining us in studio. Tommy, welcome to the Wake Up Call. It is great to have you on the show and introduce you to America.
Thank you for having me. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You are you go to a local school that we're not going to talk about.
Why didn't you want to talk about the local school?
I get it.
Yeah. There's plenty of people there that would, if I talked about this particular topic, that they'd be like, oh, how dare you talk about that, because schools, especially in this area, public schools are very liberal and
politically correct.
Yeah.
You say you get a little hard time on a daily basis?
Mm-hmm. I've been kicked at my locker several times from a person wearing a Bernie Sanders sweatshirt. I've been also pushed out of the lunch line for sharing my political opinions about Donald Trump in the lunch line. People pushed me out. Things like that happen all the time.
Okay, and I noticed that you're also wearing an NRA hat.
Do you wear that to school?
Yes, I do. People call me racist for wearing it, which I don't really get the connection between that. But some people, I've actually been surprised that people have complimented on it. But my teachers are not very happy about it.
Have you ever had a teacher or any administrator come and say, okay, sorry, Tommy, you can't wear the hat anymore?
No, surprisingly not.
Well,
never happened to me. I thought it would the first day I wore it. No.
Yeah.
You have a girlfriend?
No.
No girlfriend.
What does your T-shirt say?
I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
Where did we find this young man? I like him already.
Tommy, the 12-year-old, what kind of hobbies do you have?
Yeah.
My family always says if I get interested in something, I get obsessed with it, and I end up learning everything about it. So far, it's been birds, currently political stuff, and science, so chemistry. I've memorized probably about 80% of the periodic table, and...
Wow.
Good for you. That's not an easy thing to do.
No. Well, it is when you listen to the song every day multiple times.
Oh, you've listened... Oh, there's a song.
Yeah.
Really? Who's it by? Is it by a popular artist? I don't remember Elvis or Lady Gaga doing a periodic table of the elements song.
I don't remember the writer. Like, I don't remember... But there's a YouTube channel called ASAP Science, and they did it.
Oh.
They fixed it and made it new, and... did the... Yeah.
So yesterday, of course, we had a couple of candidates that I've referred to maybe unfairly as the B-listers. I don't know. We'll get your opinion on that. John Kasich, the Republican, and Bernie Sanders, the Socialist Democrat, stopping by the state yesterday to do the stump. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, plenty of people left my school to go to the Bernie Sanders rally. And people were complaining that a Republican was in Oregon. I actually have a couple friends that they went to the rally, but they were wearing Trump sweatshirts. I wanted to see how that went.
How did it go for them?
I haven't seen them since. I don't know. It was yesterday.
Oh, you haven't seen them since? Well, that maybe says a lot, Tommy.
So I haven't. I've not. It was yesterday, and I haven't seen them.
Yeah, sins. I
You
know.
haven't
We
been to
got it
school.
the first time. I'm messing with you.
Bernie Sanders, it was a smart move going here. It makes him look like he has plenty of supporters and that he can win the nomination, because you look at his rallies and they're bigger than anyone else's. But didn't Trump have a bigger rally than him? But you look at those people, half of them can't vote.
Right.
They're all teenagers or middle schoolers, and they're just there because their parents like him or they want free college, but they can't vote.
Right.
So he makes his crowds look big, and that's why people wonder, why isn't he winning? He has so much supporters, because half of them can't vote. Kasich, he doesn't stand a chance. I think he's
a what?
He doesn't stand a chance.
Oh.
I think he's staying in the race because he's holding it all together. If he dropped out, Trump would be unstoppable. I think Trump is stoppable. I think he can be stopped. But if Kasich drops out, it's gone.
So what would you do if you're going to be like the campaign manager, Tommy? What would you do to stop
For
Trump?
Kasich?
No, to stop Trump. For anybody. We'll say for Ted Cruz, because right now he's...
Teaming up with Kasich wasn't really a good idea. That kicked off a bunch of people that, like, oh, you don't want my vote. So in Oregon, he said he's going to split the vote with Kasich, so all of my supporters vote for Kasich. That's going to mess people's opinions up from him, because they're going to say, oh, well, you don't want my vote. You want me to vote for Kasich, and I liked you. So just because you said that, I'm going to vote for Trump. So
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that. We received the day that he said that, when that was announced, this kind of little, team up, that a number of emailers were, I had supported Cruz up until this point, but now I'm actually seriously looking at Trump. That it alienated them to a certain extent that they were going this particular route.
It's almost like the Mitt Romney thing. Mitt Romney saying that Trump he would ruin the party, and then that helped him. Obviously, it's like an endorsement.
Yeah, it was the Mitt Romney endorsement. I like that. That's a nice way to put it.
People were like, I didn't like you anyway. I didn't vote because you were the nominee. So just because you said that, I know who I'm going to vote for now, because whoever you don't like is going to be the right person. So I'm going to vote for Trump because you don't like him. That's how it is, basically.
Okay, so question. Do you think, and by the way, Tommy, the 12-year-old, joining us on the wake-up call this morning, who doesn't want to say what school he goes to, who do you think that Trump's going to wrap up the nomination? Is he going to have the magic number of delegates by the time he gets to the convention?
No, I don't think he will, unless he ends up winning Oregon, New Mexico, California, and Indiana. Then I think he can. But if he doesn't win, I think he might. Cruz has a chance at winning all of those states. If Cruz doesn't win them and Trump wins all of them, he has no chance. Trump gets the 1237 and goes to the nomination. If Trump, he compares himself to Reagan. I'm so much like Reagan. I'm a conservative. Reagan obeyed the laws of the party. And if you're so much like Reagan, then go to a second ballot. If you don't get the 1237, go to a second ballot.
Okay.
If you think you can win, and you think you have so much supporters, and go to a second ballot so you can prove that, even with everyone voting again, see if you can win.
Tommy, the 12-year-old, by the way.
Speaking of Trump, you were talking about off the air that you had a dream. You mind sharing the dream that you had about Trump?
So it was actually something by someone at my school said that, like, oh, there'd be a black market in Mexico for something if Donald Trump was elected, for something to climb over the wall. So I had a dream that night that Donald Trump became president. He built a 31-foot wall, and a black market arose in Mexico for 31-foot ladders.
31. I like the fact that they're 31 feet. I don't know why. The 31-foot ladder, I find that to be very, very.
When you told me the first time you talked about a 32-foot ladder, I thought that was pretty good too.
But it's not very factual, because he said 50 feet. Well, and my dream was only 31 foot.
Well, okay.
Let's get the producers of your dreams on the line here.
Yeah, we need to find out whether it's a 32 or a 31-foot ladder. Okay, so you've been actually following the delegate count. You have charts and graphs at home or something?
I got a notebook for Christmas, and
in fact,
my sister did not intend me to use it.
Your dad says that as soon as you get out of school, what do you ask him?
I ask him, is there any news? The biggest news I've heard from him is Rubio endorsed Cruz. I've been waiting for that one for weeks now. That was amazing. I heard that.
You've been waiting for weeks.
Yep. As soon as Rubio dropped out, I was like, come on, Rubio, endorse Cruz. And, like, my family members were like, oh, he's going to endorse Trump. It's like, are you serious? His supporters started the Never Trump movement.
What do you think of the whole Carly ticket?
Carly Fiorina, some people think that he's playing the same card as Hillary. I'm a woman, you need to vote for me. But then on the other hand, I think that was a good move. Like Jeb Bush said that yesterday. Oh, that's a good move. She's a woman, she's a conservative. She would have a great time going against Hillary.
Yeah, but she's not going directly against Hillary. She's going to be going in the debate against whoever Hillary chooses as a vice presidential candidate.
But Cruz is already winning with the women. So if you add another woman as his vice president, that's going to get even more. Like, I have a couple neighbors that were like, I'm not sure because Donald Trump is sexist, and there's a few other people that, like, I'm not sure about Ted Cruz, but then they're like, oh yeah, he has a woman vice president, running mate, I'm going to vote for him. I know a few people that do that. I think it's going to get him a lot of votes. But then on the other hand, I'm afraid that some people are going to think, oh, he's playing the same card as Hillary.
Okay, so the big question here is, it's prediction time. Okay, Tuesday is Oregon's primary.
No,
Indiana.
Tuesday, May 17th.
Pardon me, Tuesday, May 17th. Yeah, sorry. So Tuesday, May 17th is Oregon's primary. And so let's get a prediction from you on who do you think is going to take it on the Democrat side and who's going to take it on the Republican side.
First of all, I think it's clear that Bernie's going to win Oregon by
a large
amount. You look everywhere. You might think, oh, it's only in Eugene. It's like, no, it's not. I've been to the coast. I see Bernie stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
And then, like, you have friends that are like, oh, I used to live in Salem, and I moved down here, and, like, everyone there's a Bernie supporter. It's like, yeah, he's going to win. And on the Republican side, it really depends. Because the Trump and Kasich thing, I think, is going to ruin the Oregon primary. Because you look around, you ask people that are Republicans, almost 100% of them are saying, I'm going to vote for Cruz. But that thing, now, probably about 50% of them are saying I'm voting for Cruz if he doesn't want my vote, like the thing I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
At this point, I think Cruz will win because that deal kind of went to...
You think Cruz will win?
I think Cruz will win.
Yeah.
Some people think that Kasich or Trump would win. I don't see that happening. So many people hate Trump. So many people... I could see people thinking that Kasich would win, but he's not popular enough.
I don't know.
Cruz is really popular. I think that Cruz will win.
I just want to know how come we got the, Mr. Loser guy as our, why couldn't they have switched it around a little bit?
Yeah.
Why do we get stuck with Kasich? That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I've been jealous of Indiana.
Because Cruz is there?
Yeah, but you've never been to Indiana.
I've never been out of the state.
No, Rob hates Indiana more than any other state, other than maybe Ohio.
I've never talked about it. You're confusing it with Ohio. I always make fun of Ohio.
You hate Ohio, but you've talked about how horrible Indiana is, too.
Okay.
Yes, trust me.
Out of curiosity, where are you? What are you thinking about as far as a career? If you had to, is there anything that you are kind of molding this towards?
Well, all of my life until recently, I've thought about being a priest. Then I've started recently thinking about, of course, being a senator or a congressman of some sort. That seems more realistic than a priest, actually. And you might say, wait, you have to get elected for the senators. But the priest thing, you have to go through tests also. And
you think the standards are lower for politicians? Is that what you're getting at?
I don't know that there's any argument there.
I like that. So, okay, then if you want to be senator, what's your career track then? I mean, all right, so you go to school, I'm assuming then major in political science or?
Yep. I have a class called AVID, and we are going through like a college we want to go to. and what classes you would take. I thought Lewis and Clark and political science.
Okay. And then once you graduate, obviously you're still not quite old enough to be senator at that point. What do you do in the meantime?
I'm still not sure. Maybe get people to like me, so when I run, people vote for me.
I'm telling you, getting the people to like you thing can be really tough. I'm 54, and it's not the easiest thing in the world.
People don't seem to like my family, especially when we like tell people our political stance.
Well, maybe let that kind of seep slowly. Wow. And
you rock.
And before we let you go, because we're going to have them on Tuesday to talk about the Indiana situation, you are in kind of a debate kind of a class. What are you guys currently debating?
So it's called Finding Your Voice. We do different topics that we debate about. The first topic was animal testing. And the second topic was factory farming, and the topic we're doing currently is the drinking age. So there's 3 sides: raise it to 25, lower it to 18, or keep it the same. I'm on the.
Where do you fall?
I'm lower it to 18.
Oh, why?
Well, I'm gonna go through 25.
Because he wants a beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through 25 stance. So they think that the scientific studies show that your brain's not fully developed until 25.
So complicated with alcohol.
Yep, and you're less likely to get addicted if you start there. And then 21 people, they think that 25 is too old, 18 is too young. That's pretty much their only stance. 18 will have more drunk drivers and more road fatalities. But then if you think about that, 50 would have more road fatalities too. So it doesn't matter. You could have it at any age and do that. 18 stance is that if you could vote, you could smoke cigarettes, you can own a gun, you could go join the military, kill people, and get killed. Why can't you come home and have a beer? I think that's the strongest point, and that's why I'm with 18. And there's also another stance that it's also 18, but you have to have a license, and they're not sure what you would have to do, but something that would make it unforgeable, so people they'd have to get it and not forge it.
Oh, they would need, they need counterfeit measures for the legal ID. Okay, you know what? That actually makes sense.
And then
Good thinking
you have
there,
to
Tommy.
purchase alcohol, and when you do, you have to have that card. And if you don't have it, you can't. And if you get caught doing something illegal with alcohol, then that license gets taken away from you. And you get punished by something else too. So not only the license gets taken away, you get.
He's already got policy.
Yeah. He's a
Tommy's
policy
a 12-year-old.
You know what?
Be a future senator.
See, I see you as being a chief of staff. You know, maybe not a senator, but a chief of staff. You're the guy back there. You're the string puller.
Pulling all the strings.
Yeah, you're the guy that's behind there. You're the puppeteer. Okay, you're the puppet master. Is what you are.
And then it doesn't matter if people like you or not, because you're not the one who's out there. You're not the poster boy.
Exactly. You rock, Tommy.
Hey, we're going to let you go so you can get your first class. Out of curiosity, what is your first class?
Language arts.
Oh, we better let you. Well, you know what? You kind of did. You kind of did work release. You kind of did a work study here. So if you want us to write you a note, we will, and we'll have you back on Tuesday. Tommy, have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks for coming in, Tommy, the 12-year-old, on with the Wake Up Call at 8:43.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. It doesn't look like Wall Street will pull out a win for the week. After a sell-off yesterday, the Dow is down 108 points, the Nasdaq down 38, and the S&P down 13, as investors digest news from the Commerce Department that consumer spending ticked up by just 0.1% last month, even though incomes rose almost 0.5%. Consumers are saving more, and that's a surprise to economists who think wages may have to grow faster to encourage Americans to spend more. Crude oil futures are up slightly to $46.25 a barrel, but that's small comfort to oil companies struggling to deal with the global collapse in energy prices. ExxonMobil's profit fell in the last quarter to the lowest level since March 1999, but results still beat Wall Street forecasts, so shares of ExxonMobil are up 0.5%. Chevron's worse-than-expected results are taking its shares down about 1% to $100.30. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Shopping for your next grill at Midgley's is easy and convenient. Unlike home improvement stores, a walk across Midgley's doesn't require a relay baton. We know all about grills, too. Just don't ask us about sandpaper or toilet seats. And you don't need to remember where you parked. Our customer-friendly lot is directly behind our store. Get your next grill at Midgley's. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
Okay, everyone, Mother's Day is next week. Do you know what you're getting for your mom? If you're looking for the perfect gift, check out this sweet deal from Sherry's Berries. Right now, you can get their famous freshly dipped gourmet berries starting at $19.99. I was so excited to see this deal because Sherry's Berries have become a big tradition in my family. We all love them. You have never seen dipped berries like these. They're huge, sweet, juicy, and covered in decadent toppings like chocolate chips and chopped nuts. And right now, they're starting at $19.99. That's amazing. Plus, you can pick your delivery date, and the berries are guaranteed to arrive fresh, delicious, and beautifully packaged. My mom is going to be super excited when she gets her Sherry's Berries, and I bet your mom will be too. Hurry, because Mother's Day is next week, and this incredible deal ends this Friday. The only way to get this amazing offer is to go to berries.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter secret code 300. That's berries.com, special code 300.
Shipping charges not included. Customer satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Get instant cash back at Discount Windows.
Discount Windows is working with Energy Trust of Oregon to help you reduce energy costs and improve the comfort of your home.
Don't wait 6 to 8 weeks for a check. Make your project more affordable right now with instant savings.
We've handed out over $20,000 in instant cash incentives in just 5 months. Instant savings at Discount Windows.
Highway 99 in Junction City.
Open 7 days a week.
Instant cash incentives applies to windows installed by Discount Windows. CCB 180018.
If you're in the mood for seafood, anchor up at Sherry's Cafe and Pies. Our wild Alaskan bounty includes the seafood dishes you've been craving, like our healthy cedar-planked Alaskan salmon served up on a Caesar salad, or our blackened salmon BLT, or a steaming bowl of smoked salmon chowder, and of course, our Alaskan amber beer battered fish and chips. Catch your limit at Sherry's Cafe and Pies. Hook, line, and sinker.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out the door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we do have mostly cloudy skies. We've got temps right now in the mid to low 40s and light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. We are tracking some isolated showers off and on, and those look to continue throughout the day as the cold front will push through over the next few hours. Now, we don't expect a whole lot of rain out of this, only about 1/10 of an inch maximum, so just enough to probably mess up your car wash, but not quite enough to actually water your garden. That'll continue into the afternoon with the mostly cloudy skies. Temps will reach into the upper 50s to low 60s as that cold front will limit the daytime heating. Now, we are talking about a fantastic weekend. Once we get past this little storm system, high pressure moves in for your weekend, and that means we're going to look at a massive temperature jump throughout the weekend. Mid-60s for your Saturday, all the way to the upper 70s to low 80s for Sunday into your Monday. Get ready for a great weekend and a few tiny showers today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic Friday.
This is going to be a weekend for sleep. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sleeping on a Tempur-Pedic from Sleep Train. Actually, it's from the old version of Sleep Train, but the new Sleep Train is just like the old Sleep Country. The only difference is, well, it's the whole name thing. And now, instead of having like a little dinger, we have a whistle, which is, play the whistle. Just give us the whistle. Come on. Please?
It's coming.
Please? All right. Here's why you want to go to Sleep Train this weekend. Besides the fact that they've always got a great deal going on, they're going to beat anybody's price by up to 5% on any of the mattresses they carry up to 100 days after you purchase your mattress. I don't care if we're talking about a Tempur-Pedic or a Posturepedic or a Sealy or a Beauty Rest, they're going to beat the price. And another cool thing about Sleep Train is, and if you've ever had a Tempur-Pedic, you would know this. Tempur-Pedics, the mattresses are thicker than an average mattress, quite a bit thicker. And so finding the fitted sheets can be challenging at times. You go in there, you're going to find all the proper bedding that you need for your Tempur-Pedic or any other bed and mattress that you purchase from Sleep Train. That's another little extra added benefit. So head on in, find out why the folks at a Sleep Train store near you really are the experts in mattresses and sleep. Sleep Train. Rob's going to tell you where to find them.
Interest-free for 3 event is ending Sunday in Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, Salem, and Albany. All over the place, taking over the world. And tell them you like this with a wake-up call. Like this.
The Wake Up Call.
To be honest, I've never seen such dysfunction.
With Holloway in London. On News Radio 1120, KPNW.
8:51, before we get out of here, we want to qualify you for 12, count them, 12 concert hookups. It is the Cuthbert Season Pass. We're talking about everything from Disclosure, Bob Dylan, Mavis Staples, Lyle Lovett and his large band, Weird Al, Sublime, The String Cheese Incident, Government Mule, Deftones. We'll find out Monday who our grand prize winner. If you want to be our last qualifier, let's take caller number 2 at 541-45 KPNW or 888-KPNW 888. Cuthbert grand prize, we give it away. And we'll have our big announcement coming up on Monday. KPNW, your caller number 1, looking for 2, and that is you. Who's this?
Hey, this is Dennis in Cottage Grove, Oregon.
Wow.
Hi, Dennis.
What's life like in Cottage Grove today?
Oh, what's it like?
Are people going to be talking about you, saying, yeah, Dennis from Cottage Grove, we heard him on the radio, he's qualified.
Hey, very good.
Yeah, they're going to be... Go ahead. And
go
what?
ahead. Mavis, I got to see her.
Mavis.
And Dylan.
Yeah, that sounds good. Very cool.
And all the rest.
Yeah.
What are your plans today? Are you going to work? Are you at work right now? What's the deal?
I'm going to work in the yard, by golly.
Good for you.
Sounds good to
me.
me.
Mow lawns, do all that kind of stuff, have it ready for the weekend.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
Smart thinking. Well, hey, you are officially our last qualifier, and so because of that, you want a couple of Burrito Amigos certificates?
Wow.
Want to go to?
Oh man! Oh sure.
Okay,
sure.
Cool. Well, we'll hook you up. Yeah. Hey, what?
Have a good weekend.
Oh, thanks. We want you to hang on the line here for a second. We got to get a couple of pieces of information from you, then we'll let you go. All right?
Okay, will do.
All right, hang on, Dennis.
Hey, coming up on Monday, just to kind of plant the seed, we're going to start giving away tickets for the big international soccer or football game that's going to be coming to Autzen over the summer.
Okay, can I just say, can we call it soccer, not football? I realize the rest of the world calls it football.
I did it both ways.
But in America,
I did it both ways.
Football is football.
But when you think about it,
I don't care what the
you don't use, except if you're a kicker or a punter, whereas everybody foots the ball.
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
Football.
I would love to have worked with you when you cared, when you were passionate, when you cared. Anyway, we'll give those tickets away starting Monday. You can call it whatever you want to. You'll be winning the tickets. Hey, have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.
We got the half marathon going on tomorrow. I'll be out there flipping some Casa pancakes. So if you're running the half, come by and eat some delicious pancakes. And then get the spring football game at Autzen and the marathon on Sunday.
And Saturday, you've got 71 in Newport. If you don't want to do any of that other stuff, 71 in Newport.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Also talking about Corvallis, don't forget, Give Us 5 is happening. You got like a pre-party on Saturday, the event, the 5K on Sunday to promote, acknowledge, and appreciate cancer survivors. If you want to run in that, giveus5.org. And that's it for us. Have a great weekend. We out.
Get instant cash back at Discount Windows.
Discount Windows is working with Energy Trust of Oregon to help you reduce energy costs and improve the comfort of your home.
Don't wait 6 to 8 weeks for a check. Make your project more affordable right now with instant savings.
We've handed out over $20,000 in instant cash incentives in just 5 months. Instant savings at Discount Windows.
Highway 99 in Junction City.
Open 7 days a week.
Instant cash incentives applies to windows installed by Discount Windows. TCB 180018.
Movement. It's as simple as a walk in the park. Multiple sclerosis stops people from moving. Walk MS raises money to fund cutting-edge research and provide programs and services to help people with MS move their lives forward. Every year, we walk farther and push harder to move us closer to a cure. Join the movement. Walk to create a world free of MS. Next Saturday, May 7th at 9 a.m. from Alton Baker Park in Eugene. Learn more at walkmsoregon.com. It's as easy as a walk in the park.
Know that sound? That's the sound of trouble for CPAP users. Did you know that just one drop of water in your CPAP system can become a breeding ground for mold and bacteria? Breathe that stuff in and you're battling respiratory infections, allergy attacks, and more. But here's good news. SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It's the healthier way to clean your system because it kills 99.9% of germs in minutes. For a limited time, you can try it risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-500-3575. SoClean makes cleaning your CPAP a breeze. It's completely hands-free. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto,